Yes, I'm back again. So yes, it's the 20th of May. This possibly might be the last live stream I can do before I go out to Poland. I'm just going to send a few invites. Yeah, Norsey said he may possibly be able to join. So I'm just going to send the. Just going to, of course, put the invite out. Okay. So, yeah, the live, oh, we've got a message. It's quick. We might be getting, so some people might be coming on to join us, so we'll just wait. Right, yes, so what have I been up to this week? Well, I've been up to, well, there's been a few new purchases, a few comics, the latest issue of Power Rangers Shattered Grid, which I've had a read through. I've also, I also had a look through, I also got two MLP comics, the latest issue of Legends is Magic and an issue of Friendship is Magic as well. I still need to have a look through, read through those. I bought yesterday. If you've got me on Facebook, I bought In the Entertainer for £3.70. I bought a figure of Alpha 5 from the 2017 Power Rangers movie. So I do like Alpha in that film, yeah. So yeah, £3.75 is a good price to pay. Oh, hello, mate. Oh, hi, Tony.
All right.
It's all right. I'm just I'm actually doing a stream at the minute live. But it's all right. How are you anyway?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, mate. James, yeah. So what did you want to talk about there? Be with you in a minute, mate. No, not you, mate. All right. All right then. Well, that's great. Oh, that's good. Well, that's great. Okay, mate. Oh, maybe I'll see you in next week sometime before I go. So. Okay, thanks, mate. Okay, bye. Right there, Tony.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Rocking my new t-shirt.
Pardon?
Rocking my new t-shirt.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. That's great, mate.
It's like the old Pokemon game.
Oh wow! Yeah.
It's Star Trek, but you know, like
Star Trek.
the old Pokemon games for the Game Boy. It says the Enterprise used resistance.
Yeah.
It was futile. I saw that and I went, yeah, I've got to have that. Thank you.
I do like the Starship. It's called, isn't it? Not the biggest Star Trek fan, but I do like those ships.
I've got hundreds, mate. I've got loads and loads and loads of them.
Yeah. My friend who I was just on the phone to there, he was ringing me, letting me know details about the new Pokemon RPG. It's coming out at the end of this year.
So yeah, Hangouts, yeah. Who else is coming on?
I spoke to Knowlesy. He said he might be able to. It was a bit sudden, so I'm not sure. See, I'm going away for a fortnight on Wednesday, so this might be the last chance I get to do one before I go. I don't know if I'll be able to do them when I'm there, but.
Where are you going? Anywhere nice?
Poland to visit my dad because he lives out there.
All right, cool. Cool.
Have you bought anything new recently, Tony?
Apart from my ships, not really. No. I get me.
Bought some new games, or
not really. No. Well, like I say, I get me regular ships, which I buy regular, and a review online on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Those videos are good.
Yeah. So I've got, what did I get recently? I got the USS Jaeger, NCC 65674, which is a combination of an Intrepid class and a Mackie Raider. It was only ever seen in the background of certain episodes of Deep Space Nine, but we've got a ship. We've got the SS Emmett. Shit, dropping the fucking stand all over, which was only ever seen in the title sequence of Enterprise, and it just sort of comes of a frame like that, and that's all you see. We've got the shuttle Alice that they find in the Delta Quadrant, the Voyager finds, which is a really nice model actually. Turns out it's got a faulty AI and tries to kill Tom Paris, but you know, as you do. And then we've got one of the ones I've been waiting for a while, a good while. When I get off the stand, is the Romulan Science Vessel, which is really cool. Which is just a redo of the Romulan Scout Ship, which was another good model as well. But they just changed the front end and added this sort of bit at the back, and then they recolored it into sort of a gold color, and it become a New Mary warship in an episode of Voyager, and sort of put it the other way around. So you know, well, there we go. That's really all I bought recently.
So we're 3 months away now.
We are indeed. It's going to be.
I've only done one video so far. I need to do more. Been mostly doing these.
I'll be doing more videos because I always do more videos. Because do you know what? I don't know. I put all my ships back on the stand. It generates a lot of buzz about it.
It does, yeah. I mean, last year they had a YouTube channel, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, years ago, Ray, I Love Mess, used to do the videos, and he used to do the questions like, "What are you looking for?" And then he'd do things like, "What is the most favorite Transformer you own?" or "What is the worst Transformer you own?" or "What is a Transformer that's usually considered shit by people, but you just love for some reason?" You know, that sort of, there's those sort of, and it gets discussion out, and it gets people talking, and it gets people engaged for the thing, you know, and it's nice
to telling people what not to buy.
Well, there's not so much that. I mean, even so, I mean, as everybody knows, I'm a G1. I love G1, and I've got to say, most of G1 is shit, right? But I just love it because it's shit. Yeah. You know, it's because
it's the original, isn't it? It's you know, it's
yeah. I mean,
have a special place.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It's what I grew up with. It's when somebody says Transformers to me, that is instantly what I think of is Generation One. The title sequence, the voices, the cartoon, everything like that, the music, and then the toys. I mean, the toys. I love the toys. Toys are great, but I mean, but like I say, it when I do the videos, and I get a lot of stick for some of the videos I do. It generates discussion, generates hype for the convention, and I've had a lot of people in recent years come up to me after, during while I've been at TF Nation, going, "Oh, I saw your videos; they were great. Thanks for the information that you gave. They were really good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
um, things like budgeting." Because I've gone, the very first convention I went to was back in 2009. Well, no, I've been to other conventions before, but the first Transformers one was 2009, and I hadn't been Auto Assembly 2009, yeah, and I hadn't been to a convention in such a while at that point. I think it was about 5 or 6 years, and I had a footload of cash that I just fucking splurged. I just went in the dealer's room and just went, and then come home and I remember taking a picture of it, put it on my bed when I come home, and it was almost the whole length of my bed, But while I was there, I'm going, oh, I'm running out of money. I have run out of money. I have nothing left. What do I do? So by learning that the hard way, I've gone to people, I've done the videos and gone, oh, well, the best thing to do is not go mental first. I mean, the temptation is when you walk in that dealer's room, because especially if you've never been before, and go, oh my God, look at all these Transformers. What do I do first? Where do I go first? And then you just go, right, I'm having this, and then you've done 600 quid in or whatever, and you think, oh, and what do I do for the rest of the weekend now?
Yeah.
So I've had
they say that they're not going to allow us to have them out at the bar this year, are they?
Have they not?
I thought you'd said that last time, that they're a bit.
Oh, no. What I mean by that is, a few years ago, there were a lot of people selling in the bar. Their own stuff.
Like Friday before the dealer room opens.
Yeah, and a lot of the dealers complained about it and said that, well, why are they doing it in the bar and stuff like that? And then, so, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with you selling some figures at the convention, but don't do it in the bar. Say I've got a few figures I'm selling. Do you want to go up to the room and have a look? By all means, but just not in the bar, But it's, but having them out in the bar is fine. But my OCD kicks in at this point, particularly when you've got Titans Return figures and they're just tiny. The worst thing in the world is you lose. All right, John, you losing that little bit.
Yeah. I was thinking, because last year on Friday, obviously it was my first time, and I bought a shitload of stuff last year because it was my first time. I did kind of go. I wouldn't say I went all out, because I did make sure I got to look around at everything and got things I wanted. I also saw several things I picked up when I saw them because things were cheap. I mean, the Friday was the first purchases I made from someone there. I was getting, like, I really just wanted something to play with, because I hadn't bought anything with me, and everyone had got figures.
Well, you see, the thing is, I mean, there's nothing wrong with arranging to buy something off somebody, and then they turn up on Friday and go, "I've got that thing for you." Oh, brilliant! Here's 20 quid or whatever. That's fine. But when you turn up and you open a box full of fucking toys and go, right, I'm selling these. That's when, I can understand the dealers going, hang on, So
that's what Andy was doing, wasn't he? Originally,
Andy did it every year. Gareth did it one year as well, and a few other people have done it. I mean, there's no offense to them, but at the same time, it's like, if you got something to sell, that's fine. That's why there's a fan table. But yeah, so 3 months. Holy shit! Time does 88 days, in fact.
We were saying on the Saturday evening before the Stan Bush concert, Nolsey, you suggested, didn't you, we should all be ready and we should all queue up together, because I think we've all got passes for the convention with our tickets, for the concert with our tickets, haven't we?
depending on how things go, I think this is what will happen. The dealer's room shuts at 5, right? And then you've got like at least maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours before the cosplay starts, because the cosplay will start. They'll do the script reading, and after the script reading will be the concert.
Yep.
That's just speculation, basically, at the moment. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but I think that's what this.
We'll get the program when we get there. So
yeah, I think that's what they'll do. So
either that or they'll I don't know. I mean, in order, thing is with them selling tickets, it's going to be interesting to see how it's going to be handled, because everyone that's got a weekend ticket, regardless, can see the script reading and everything.
Yeah, there's that as well. Yeah. Unless they're doing it in a different room.
It'd be interesting unless they're just doing it all in one room this year. I don't know.
I think they'll do it in one room, and I think what we'll do is.
The thing is, what will happen if they did it in the same room as the script reading? Majority of people would just stay in there, wouldn't they? But
the thing is, though, I think most people who have gone for the weekend have got the tickets for the thing anyway, so I don't think it's anything to worry about. You know, unless they get the bouncers out, and then unless they've done, the bands, which I hate, I fucking hate them. I prefer a pass, but the
wristbands.
Wristbands. There we go.
Yeah,
wristbands.
For the ones who've got the ticket for the concert, will there be different ones? The ones that have only got the weekend pass.
I think maybe that's it. Yeah, I think that's what they'll do. Yeah, I think maybe the full weekends are black, and then the full weekends with the concert are purple or something. I don't know. It depends how they do it. But like I said, I don't think we'll know that until we're a little bit closer to the time. So
we'll probably find out once they release the actual proper schedule,
which is usually a week before we go anyway. So
yeah,
something like that. Yeah, I think we've still maybe got another couple of guests they'll announce first before we.
I think so. It's going to be interesting if we don't have.
Sorry,
Lawrence, go on.
We don't know if we've got Mr. Furman coming, have we, this year?
That's what I was going to say.
He'll be there. He always is. I mean, it's like when. I mean, this is no disrespect to anybody, but when they go, oh, John Paul Beauvais and Nick Roche and James Roberts, and I'm like, awesome, standard, standard, usual. It's just they're as much part of the convention as we are, And that's like I say, that's no bad thing at all. It's nice to see those guys, and we've been going so long that we know them. It's great,
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I love about this thing, because I've been to Star Trek conventions and Buffy conventions and Star Wars conventions and stuff like that in the past, and generally, you tend to stick to your group. Like the people that you've gone with, you tend to stick with those people. And then maybe you might meet a couple of friends you might meet a couple of people there. And then the next year's convention, you might, those people might join you as well. But you don't generally speak to other people. Whereas at Auto Assembly and TF Nation, you've already got a massive friend base already. You know everyone, regardless if they're people you've met there, people you've met before, people you've met on Facebook, YouTube, and even some of the guests.
Yeah.
You're already friends before you've even gone to this thing.
I mean, I knew all you. Well, I'd spoke to all you guys for quite a while prior to going last year. But yeah, the atmosphere was just so friendly and so welcoming and so chilled out through the whole weekend that. This is the sort of place I knew I wanted to be.
That's
if I'm going to go to an event, then this is the one.
Well, that's it, because last night I was watching a few sort of previous videos. I watched Thew's whole video from last year, and he was saying about how this community is such a. Well, you saying how much he loves this community, which is true because we get stuff for people. We go, oh, I've got this thing for you. Here, have it. And it's an expensive toy, but it's not about the thing itself that you're being given. It's because that person has given it to you.
Yeah, yeah. Last year, Graham. I'm not sure what his name is on YouTube. As a collector of 75. That was.
Oh, I love Graham. Yeah, I've known Graham a long time.
I really wanted a Beast Wars figure.
Yeah,
and I hadn't been able to find one I was sure that I wanted to get, but he had one that I think he had one that he bought to sell, but he didn't sell it to everyone, so he just gave it to me.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. You'll find, like I say, you'll find that more at this one than you will anywhere else, because if you go to like MCM or London Film and Comic Con or whatever, you walk around, you buy a few things, you meet a guest, you sign a few autographs, you might run into somebody that you know, and once you've been around a couple of times, you're done, you're home, But a thing like this, where, we all love the same thing, because like I say, most of the conventions nowadays are sort of general stuff. You'll have guests from Star Trek and Power Rangers and Star Wars and all the rest of it, so there's something for everyone, whereas this one, it is a niche thing, but we all love the same thing. And then, like I said, because the draw's there, and because we are all Transformers fans, but you'll find that there are Power Ranger fans and Star Wars fans and zombie fans and video game fans, and so you'll think, and anime fans or whatever it is, So you're already conversing with somebody. You'll see somebody wearing a T-shirt like this, for example. Oh, I like Star Trek too. What's your favorite episode? Oh, well, you're talking to somebody, and then you make a friend, and then next year it's that's why I love it. There are so many good people. There are so many genuine people as well. Hardly ever I've gone, oh, don't speak to them, they're a bunch of knobheads or whatever. Never once has that thought come across my mind at this thing. And everybody's out, because like I said, everybody's out for the same thing. We all love this. We all love plastic robots. We all love whichever variation of those you like. We all like that. And then we all like all other things.
I'm going to aim to try and watch all of Beast Wars. I've got Beast Wars. I'm going to try and watch all of that series before I come in the next 3 months. I've really gotten into
it. It's a fantastic series. It's one of my. In fact, I think it is probably the best Transformers series.
Definitely.
Because the cast was so small, because it was CG back in the 90s, they had to have characters. You couldn't just have, and this is the new wave that's out, and suddenly they're in the cartoon for no reason, So you had to have character development, and Beast Wars did it very, very, very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Beast Wars. I regard that as my, my G1. Pretty much.
Well, it is G1, same universe.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Because they go back in time, find the Ark, find Optimus Prime, and you see, well, all the G1 characters that are in they're in Beast Wars. You see G1 Prime, you see Starscream, Soundwave, Prowl, Ironhide, Jazz. These are all flashbacks though, and then you see Megatron, of course. And of course you get the message from G1 Megatron as well, voiced by Gary Chalk, no less.
And obviously, kind of like characters like Pterosaur and Waspinator, you can kind of see.
Oh, Waspinator. He's probably my favourite of all that series. Is Waspinator. I just love him because he's in the character bio he said he's evil. He's just not very good at it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Waspinator having a good day. Whack, and just pile of junk. Because that's the thing with Beast Wars. You had some really silly moments in it. It's like when Optimal Optimus go, you see Waspinator and he goes like that, like catch a bug, he goes like that, and then it's just like a flat thing. He goes like that, And it's the daft shit like that I love about Beast Wars.
Same with Scorponok as well.
Scorponok was good. I liked Inferno is one of my favourites as well.
Yes, my queen.
Yeah, ultimately because they had the
Oh.
concert. Will they still be doing maybe a film show? Or
Probably, yeah, I would think so.
they normally last year they showed the first live action film for the 10-year anniversary, but
yeah, and plus Matt
they normally show
as well, wouldn't they? Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I can't see what. Maybe they'll do G1 movie because Stan Bush is there.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they might have something else completely planned for it. You know what I mean? Who knows? That's the thing with this. That's the thing with TF Nation over Auto Assembly. Auto Assembly, you could probably guess what they were doing next, what year they were doing something. You could probably guess, and you're usually right as well. But TF Nation, every year so far, has been a complete mystery.
Yeah.
You know, until we get there, you know, and you know, some of the panels and stuff, we don't even know what's going on until we get there, you know?
No,
Because
like last year they had to redo several panels over the weekend that they did on the Friday because not everyone could get in where they were holding them.
They just did not expect the influx of it. I mean, I missed Theo's panel twice because the rooms were so small. I missed the Brave panel twice as well because, again, they didn't expect to see so many people you know, were interested in Brave. Because so have you seen some of the toys for Brave? They had that display last year.
Yeah, it's awesome. Very
some
good.
of the toys are fantastic.
I'd like to get hold of some, but
yeah, you're looking at a bit of money. Even the re-releases, you're looking at a fair slice of cash. I mean, because it's what you look at it, and it some of the early ones you can see they were going to be Transformers. Because it's what Takara did after Transformers, and you can see that some of the designs where that's definitely a Transformer, you know. And then sort of later they sort of
we've got one viewer. It might be Sam.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I've not even heard it.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, but some of the Brave stuff is great. I mean, I'm looking for a Goldran and a Guy. If I'm saying it right, but I have got this though. Just talk amongst yourself while I grab it. I might knock things over. It's probably gonna knock. Oh no, fine. I do have the masterpiece Brave X Kaiser. Oh, he's lovely. He's lovely.
Oh, he's good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's lovely. And sword. That is elegant. Covered in dust though. But he's a lovely thing. A really nice toy. Fiddly and annoying, but really nice, you know. I can never get that sword to fit in his hand proper. But yeah, I mean, I want to get the Dragon Kaiser that goes with it, but that's you're talking remortgaging your house kind of level of money for that, you know.
It'll be interesting to see if they'll have any this year.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Toy Few have got some absolutely corking pieces this year, haven't they? Did you see Few's video?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Black Zarak.
And
which will be mine. I will be buying that.
And about 3 original G1 Overlords as well.
Yeah, and about 3 Star Savers as well, and a Browning and a fucking Raiden. You know, the train bots, like, I've never seen those ever. You know, and some of the stuff I've never seen, you know, outside of a display case, you know.
That's so laughing. Few's already bought them all, and he's just kind of like, you just got to Toy Foo.
I'll definitely get some stuff off Toy Foo because you've got to buy from them, haven't you? You've
got to buy from there, yeah. I mean, like I said, their business model is great. Any profit, I mean, they cover costs, but anything profit is donated to charity, which is great. For those of you who don't know, it's for Mary's Meals, and they make sure that third world countries, make sure that the kids have got, you know, food and stuff like that, and ability to go to school and stuff like that. So it's a real good charity that they do. So no negotiation. When you buy from Toy Fair, whatever they're asking, you pay. It goes to charity. You know, I mean, there's a story a few years ago of a guy trying to talk a couple of quid off Toy Fair. I'm like, really? A couple of quid? Come on, dude.
God.
You know. You stay there. That's it. But yeah, but Toy Fair, I mean, every year they always have something spectacular on offer, and it's good, because how they managed to get this shit, I'll never know. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they mentioned
clearly they work hard to get things they know people will want, and they know they'll buy them. So.
Yeah, they work hard, but I think in Viewers' video, I think they mentioned that they went across to Japan. They went to a Pacific toy auction. I think that's how they managed to get majority of it.
Well, from what I hear, it was, from what I understand, a lot of the stuff that they had in the video was from either somebody moved house and they were just cleaning out the attic or something like that, and they found all these Transformers, and they took it to a record shop of all things, see if they could sell it. And you know, they went in and sort of bought everything. You know what I mean? And it was just like record shop, huh? What? What I understand, I might have it totally wrong, but that's what I understand. So, what are you two after this year then? What is on your to buy list?
Definitely some more Beast Wars stuff. I mean, this is the Beast Wars figure. I'm not sure. I think this could be Cheetor. He's partly transformed. This is what Graham gave me.
That's Rat Trap.
Rat Trap.
That's right. Yeah, Rat Trap. So I'll get some more. Definitely try and get some more Beast Wars figures. I want to try and get.
If Ray's there this year, hoping he is, speak to Ray. He's your Beast Wars fella. He's a massive Beast Wars fan. And George as well, even though he don't collect anymore. George, Exaggerated Elegy, is a big Beast Wars fan. He'll probably help you out, you know, with what to buy. But then again, I'm a big Beast Wars fan as well. I know what there's some great figures in Beast Wars, some absolute corkers.
Oh yeah.
You know, like a long rack. I've always wanted to get a long rack. A Mac Kick, which is My Little Pony. You'll like that, Lawrence. It's actually got real hair in it. You know, it's a unicorn with real hair. But some Transkeeter's a good one to get.
Yeah, I want to get I want to get Cheetor, Megatron, Soundwave.
Soundwave. Oh, you mean the what is it? He's a mutator, I think it is.
Because he's in it, isn't he?
He isn't. No, there is a character called Soundwave, and he's what you call a mutator, and he's got 2 beast modes, and he doesn't have a robot mode, but he has a robot mode head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit weird because some of the characters are just not applicable in Beast Wars, because it's basically Transformers the next generation. You know, they make reference to G1 a lot, but it's like I say, it's Transformers the next generation. So what are you after then, John?
Not sure yet. Thinking about picking up a Masterpiece Nemesis Prime, maybe. Or Shattered Glass, either one.
Yeah, because Sam managed to pick one up last year for was it 90 quid he paid for it?
Jammy bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to maybe pick up that Nemesis. Is it Prime or something that's come out for Powers of the Prime?
Oh, there's the Rodimus one, which looks great, and his face sculpt looks like Lemmy from Motorhead.
Yeah, that one.
I'm like, yeah, that's good. I've got to buy that. Yeah.
Beast Wars stuff, pretty much just anything. Just see what they've got.
Yeah, same there.
Do you know what? That is probably the best thing you can do. I mean, you can have a list a mile long and still not find anything on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When
You
I'm not looking to get a massive haul this year. I mean, just because
I'll
I've
be
done
getting
that many times in the past where I've got shitloads of like a massive haul and never really appreciated it all, and ended
Yeah,
up
I think you're right there, John. I think the smaller holes you tend to appreciate a lot more. You tend to, because it's things that you,
it's good. Yeah, it's good just not to go down around the dealer room, say in the first hour, and just blow all your money and say, "Oh, that I love that, I love that, I love that."
because there are. I mean, I like looking at people's haul videos. I mean, not because people go, it's just because people are dick waving. It isn't that at all. It's. You see, I've been, like I said the other night, I've been watching videos of past auto assemblies, past TF Nations and stuff, because it's nice to see an alternate version of the thing that you were at. Because no matter how cool you think it is, you've done something that somebody else hasn't done at that thing. So it's nice to see that, other people's videos of them walking around or things that they've bought. And I think sometimes it's a lot about, again, this is another reason why I do the videos. It's because because I'm a nosy bastard for one. I like to see what people have bought. But I think as well, but there are a couple of people out there. I'm not going to name any names, but there are a few people out there that are, I've got X amount of money. I've got more money than you have, and I'm going to spend it, and I'm going to buy as much stuff as I can get my hands on. You know?
No,
I have noticed a couple of videos like that. But it's not even about that. I mean, you could go there and buy one thing, but if you love it enough, that's brilliant. It doesn't matter. You can go and go, oh, I've got the American Master. The only thing I wanted this year was American Master Devastator, and I bought it, and I'm quite happy. I don't need no else. Done. I go, that's brilliant. That's fantastic. Because that's all. That's all the thing that you want. Jobs are good. But if you go there, you think, well, I've got £1,000 to spend. What I'm going to spend it on? I think at that point you just go, well, I'll just buy anything. Oh, it's only a 10, I'll have it. It's 15 quid, I'll have that. And like you say, I think you lose a bit of yourself by doing that, I think.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff that I've sold over the years. And there's only been like a handful of stuff that I've kept.
Well, I sold all my Armada Trilogy stuff and Unicron Trilogy stuff, and only because I just don't have the space for it. That is the only reason. Because some of the Unicron Trilogy stuff is fantastic. I mean, there's some Drek in there, but then there's Drek in any line.
Yeah, I mean, some people go and buy a load of sort of stuff, don't they? And they will just want to sell it, don't they?
Yeah.
The truth is, you can probably get it for more than what they bought it for.
Well, there's that too. There's them people that go to BotCon only to get the. John's gone. People go to BotCon only to get the exclusive sets, get as many as they can get their hands on, just stick them on eBay, to return a profit. And I went, well, how much have you spent to get to this thing for a start? You know what I mean? And then how much you pick a setup for like $100 or $200 or whatever they're charging, and then you want to charge $500, $600 for this thing, and it's like, well, how much did you spend to get to the thing?
Oh, John's back.
John, you back? So yeah, I mean, there's things in it. There's you get out of it as much as you put into it as well. I mean, people just go for the toys. People just go for socializing. People just go for the guests. Whereas me, I'm a bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean, last year from the instant like I got there, and I went to that bar after checking in, and it's like I've arrived. Because the first person was Adam, one of the crew members. Because I'd done YouTube videos, he comes up to me straight away. He goes, "Hi, you on YouTube?"
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I
told him obviously that I was waiting to meet you guys. That because you were the guys I knew well enough.
Well, that's it. I mean, I think I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, like I said earlier on about, you know, oh yeah, well, you stand with SG1, aren't you, blah blah blah. And I've been watching your videos, and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know who to talk to, and you know, you give me some good pointers and that. And I think, well, if I've helped just one person, you know, get something out of it, then you know, I'm quite happy with that. You know, and you know, I'm not to toot me on a horn or anything, but I signed autographs last year.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, this lovely kid called Jack, I think he was called Jack, comes up to me and he says, "Oh my God, you're Sam with SG1, aren't you?" I went, "Yeah, yeah." He says, "I watch your videos." I'm like, "Why are you watching my videos? Watch Thews, they're far better than mine." And he goes, "No, I really like your videos. Can you sign my sound wave?" And I'm like, "What? No. Hey? What? No. Yeah, if you want, you know." And then as I was telling Thew this story, and as I was telling Thew, the lad came out outside, and he said about, and I said, "Oh, this is the very lad." And he goes, "Oh my God, it's Thew. Could you sign this?" And Thew was going, "Oh, well, I've been asked." And I went, "Yeah, but I was asked first, though, wasn't I, Thew?" So, you know, it's all good. But but the thing is, though, I mean, at this thing, people are genuine. You know, people are genuinely interested in you and the stuff that you like. You know, I mean, and that's what I like about it. You know, people come up to me and give me Star Trek stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And go, "Oh, you like Star Trek? Here, I've had this for me in my house for 20 years. Have it." "Oh, do you want anything?" No, you like Star Trek. Have it." "Oh, right, cheers." You know. And that's the thing. I mean, I've give stuff to people, and I've had stuff given to me as well, you know. And it's just a wonderful. I mean, I'm not going there to get freebies, but it's always nice that somebody's taken time and effort to go, "Here, I've got something for you." Like Zort Rider last year gave me a load of Star Trek books. Must have given me about 10 or 15 novels, Star Trek novels, some of which I've never even seen before. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and it's good to have a look at. It's good to have a look at the stalls to see what other some people have got bits and bobs from other franchises that aren't to do with Transformers.
Nick, he's usually got a lot of Power Ranger stuff, and
I bought shitloads of it off him last year.
Yeah, and from I'm reliably informed that he's got some good stuff for this year too. Yeah, but it's
Have you bought any Power Ranger stuff before, Tony, or not really?
I've got a couple of the action figures and stuff like that. You know, is it the Legacy ones? Not the Legacy ones.
Yeah. Well, I bought Legacy Red last year. You bought the whole set, didn't you, John?
No, they weren't the Legacy ones. No, they were.
You still got them, or did you sell them? Or?
Hang on a minute.
What was this? Unfortunately.
What was the series? What was the series before Dino Charge?
Super Megaforce.
Megaforce, yeah.
Might have been that line. I think it was one of those lines, and they brought out some of the original characters.
Yeah, because it was the 20th anniversary. So
yeah, I got a couple of those. I've got the White Ranger, the Red Ranger, and a Putty Patrol guy. Because that's all we had in the shop at the time. That's what I bought. And they were going for like £3, and I went, "Yeah, I'll have them for £3."
Yeah. Oh well, yesterday I went into the Entertainer in Leicester, and I bought for £3.75. I bought the figure of Alpha 5 from the 2017 movie because I quite liked him. So I like that version of Alpha.
I thought it was great.
I do.
It's the right blend of silliness, which I quite liked. You know, it was kind of. They took the premise and go, look, right, lads, we know this is a bit silly, but we're going to have fun with it. And it was. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, the problem with it was it's just it kind of flopped at the box office, even though a lot of fans did like it.
It did.
It only just made just over its budget back, I think.
Yeah, but not enough to warrant a sequel. Yeah, I think the problem.
It still said it might happen. But if it does, it'll be even less on a budget. So
when did it come out? 2016, didn't it?
2017 last year.
Oh, it was last year, wasn't it? I mean, what was the big film last year? Well, it come out at the wrong time. I mean, if it come out 2 or 3 years ago, I think it'd have been all right. But because last year you've got the likes of, well, you had 4 Marvel movies, and you
Yeah.
had, Star Wars as well. You've got to, and then it was cut. It came out. I think was it something stupid like February or something like that. March. So yeah, it's kind of like it's just got swept under the rug a bit. If it had come out now, this time of year, or July or August maybe, it'd have done probably better. But again, you've got things like what was it out last year? Doctor Strange and Thor Ragnarok, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I've been watching people's videos who find out rumors and stuff, and they still say that Lionsgate and Saban are still potentially talking about maybe doing the sequel.
Well, I'll get to that. But again, it's got to come out in a time when there are no other movies out, and then because I think a lot of people, the average cinema goer, shall we say, probably just thought, well, it's just Transformers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But the only thing that really was resemblant of Transformers were the Zords, and you did have that little nod to to Bumblebee in the film, which is quite.
Yeah, but but you're forgetting though the average. To us nerds, we know the difference, but the average cinema goer who's not a fan of any of this thing, but goes to cinema and enjoys films, they probably looked at it like, oh, it's just Transformers knockoff. I'm going to see that. You know what I mean? So it's probably. It had to deal with a lot of that anyway, yeah. So, there was something I was going to ask you to, and I can't remember what it is now.
I know all the fact that they are still, if what people want to see if they do the sequel is the Green Ranger arc.
I think but it was hinted at, wasn't it, at the end of the film?
Yeah, they were going to introduce the character of Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy Oliver, Tommy. And I went, yeah, they're going to do Green Ranger next. It has to be done, isn't it? But,
yeah, they say they were potentially thinking about making the character a female to equalize the team, 3 guys and 3 girls, which I suppose would be fairly interesting. But
well, cleverly enough, they did change the Black Ranger and the White Ranger round, the Blue Ranger round, which I thought was kind of interesting, and yet at the same time I was like, oh, that's okay, all right, it kind of works. I mean it makes no difference what colour they are, really, does it?
No. Now even at this point in the series, we've even had female Red Rangers.
Well, yeah, but you look at Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, though. You look at Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and you had, a girl who was the Pink Ranger. You had a Chinese girl who was the Yellow Ranger, and you had the Black Ranger, which was the black guy. And it was kind of a bit on the nose with that.
They actually, apparently, what I heard about that was that it wasn't until 10 episodes in Saban had realised that potentially that might have been an error. So when the three of the original cast left the show, they decided to when they were going to do the recasting, to have Adam be sort of a white Asian to be the Black Ranger, and then they had an African American as Aisha as the new Yellow Ranger.
Yeah. To me, it didn't bother me. It still doesn't bother me. It's like, well, it's just a colour at the end of the day. So it's only like, it doesn't bother me. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. But some people might go, all right, Carl.
Oh, hi, Carl.
Hey, Carl.
All right, Carl. Slimy Fetler. How's it going?
Oh, hello.
Hi. How are you?
Oh, everything's choppy. I am bored shitless and I'm in a foul mood.
Well, this could be very interesting. How come you're bored shitless?
Because there's fuck all to do. There's no on telly, and I've been trying. For the past 2 days, there's been no on telly. I've been playing on Xbox.
I've been playing on Xbox, and now I've played the Xbox so much I'm actually bored of it. There's no decent streams. Well, I said there's no decent. There's no decent streams on to listen to. And the last one I tried, I thought, oh, this one might be interesting. You know, because they were talking about men's mental health issues and stuff like that. All it turned out was a self-indulgent, fucking what they call it, where, you know, it was like, oh, let's pay some lip service to the problem and then talk about our own personal problems.
Yeah. Which is usually the case for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's usually the case. And it's really doing my fucking nut in. I'm sick of people fucking, you know, virtue signalling. It's really doing my fucking box in.
Oh, absolutely. It's going, well, we understand there's a problem, but we're not going to talk about it in depth.
Yeah. We understand there's a problem, but, you know, several years ago, somebody said something to me that kind of hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Well, now everybody else has to pay for it by me talking about it again and again and again.
I think today's world, it's like people are so easily offended, and that pisses me off.
People are so easily offended.
Well,
You know what I mean?
it's my shop.
I know, that's what I mean. It's just the fact that, you know, you can't even give a girl a compliment without accusing you of trying to rape her and stuff like that. You know, it's like, oh, well, that's a nice dress. Oh my god, you know, and it's just these fucking millennial fucking.
But it's not particularly. It's not particularly that. Yeah, it's not particularly that annoys me. What annoys me is that. It's like I say, you know, all the fucking like people getting offended over fuck all thing is a given these days.
Yeah, I think
you just fucking ignore it. It's like you say something, oh, that's a bit, oh, fuck off, and that's all the lip service I'll pay to that.
Yeah, me too.
But the thing is when you get people that claim that they're trying to, you know, either raise awareness or help with certain issues, and instead of, you know, doing that, what they do is they use it as an excuse to basically talk about themselves. And it's like, you know, it's like I said, I mean, I was watching this thing that was on earlier and they were talking about things, and then it you know, they said about like, you know, this, that and whatever about mental health, and it's like, you know, that's that part, like, oh yeah, that yeah, and then next thing it's like, you know, oh well, when I was at university, you know, and then, you know, the other week I went into a shop and they didn't have what I wanted, and it's like, what the fuck's that got to do with men's mental health? What I had a friend who was raped when she was 16. It's like, yeah, what's that got to do with men's mental health?
Well, personally, I don't think people are going to have like a big mental breakdown if they go to a shop and don't find what they're hoping to find.
Well, put it this way: if going to a shop and they don't have what you want causes you anything other than mild disappointment, and there's something wrong with you, and you seriously need to either reevaluate your life or commit seppuku.
That's it, exactly. I mean, if I go to shop and I go, oh, they haven't got any milk in, I'll go, fuck it, I've got to go to another shop. And that's usually where I leave it. And it's not like, I'm not going to come home and go on Twitter and go, my local shop didn't have fucking milk. Oh, I'm going to blow up the entire universe because of it. And I'm like, you see people do that, and it's just like, really? You got nothing better to do? It's like when people complain. The fuck was that?
That's me testing my new soundboard out.
But, you know, it's like you get people complaining over nothing, and they complain because they can complain. You know, it's like when they come into the shop. I think the majority of
complaining is probably due to some people like attention seeking, don't they?
Attention seeking. It's them ones that stand there and go, "Well, I am fucking annoyed and this, that, and I can't believe this happened and this happened and this happened." If I've got a problem in a shop or anywhere or something like that, I think it was the last auto assembly, they hadn't changed the towels in my room for 2 days, and annoyed, I went down to the reception and I just said, can you get somebody to come and change the towels in the room? It hadn't been done for 2 days, you know. And it was like, oh yeah, that's fine, yeah, sorry, blah 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 blah. And then I went upstairs to put something in the room, and they were there changing the towels, so it's obviously got something done. I didn't go down and fucking threw my weight around and go, well, I'll never stay in this motel again, blah 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 blah.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah. No, and I don't particularly care.
Yeah, I couldn't give 2 fucks either. Well, I'll go on TripAdvisor and give you 1 star out of 5. It's like,
Yeah.
like there was somebody who did that. Oh God, what was it? Some sort of snowflake or something that went to Ireland, and before they set off on the trip, they contacted the hotel owner of the hotel or something. It weren't like a massive, it was just, you know, like a little mum and dad kind of B&B sort of place. And they contacted them and they went like, oh, I am a social media influencer and stuff, and I'll be coming to stay at your hotel, and you know, if you want me to, you know, like give your hotel, you know, like good remarks and stuff while I'm there, then, you know, how about a free stay there and stuff? And basically, the hotel owner email back went, fuck off.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so they said there that they made this video saying about how crap this hotel was, and you know, and then went like about, you know, and you know, you'd have thought that they'd have been happy for the free publicity and, you know, and having me stay there, and it's like, sorry, who are you again?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that, and you know, then they got a massive backlash. And funnily enough, the hotel started getting loads and loads of free publicity, and people booked to stay there and paid to stay there, and said, "Yeah, it's great. It's quite a nice hotel, actually."
Well, that's it. You know, I mean, I'm. It's like, well, if I've got a genuinely legitimate complaint, I'll complain about something. But if it's just something really minor, I'll just go, "Yeah, somebody hasn't done this, or have you got this, or I can't find it." You know, usually you get the most people bend over backwards for it and get it done, and then I just don't get it. I just don't. Well, you know, I just don't get it. And like the whole, like when there's that fucking Gamergate thing as well, that was a few years ago.
Don't even get. No, that's well over and done with. Some people can't let it lie.
I know. I mean, to me,
people like mundane facts. Who spends, even though it's been long over and done with, but yet on his channel, I recently unsubbed from him because it's just got to the point now where he's not even making content anymore. He's just he does a couple of hours live streaming a day on a different website. I think it's Rustled or something. Doesn't interact with the chat. Doesn't interact with his fans anymore. And then he once he's finished that, he downloads it, chops it up into little segments, and then that's his video material done for the rest of the week. And it's like he's not. He had the cheek. Last video I watched, he had the cheek to go, "Oh well, I don't consider myself to be a journalist or a news source." Like, well, that's funny, mate, because during Gamergate you kept calling yourself an alternative news source.
Yeah.
So which one is the useless, fat, hypocritical cunt?
Oh, that's it. I mean, when that news broke, and I was reading it all on Twitter or whatever I was reading it on, I'm just thinking, really? Have you got nothing better to do? Yeah, there are girls out there who play video games. So fucking what? You know?
That's not. This is the thing. This is Gamergate was never about that. It was just that certain people decided to make a grab for attention.
Yeah.
To about that. What it was originally, what it started off as, was they found out that basically games developers were getting in bed, sometimes literally, with games journalists, and or they were paying people to give them, or they were paying for people to give them, you know, favourable review. But the thing is, though, that's nothing new, but at least they had the decency. At least the games journalists had the decency to deny it.
Yeah.
Before, whereas this time they were like, "Oh yeah, they paid me to give them a good review," and it's like, right. So, and then there was the what they call it that turned up. Was it Game Journos Pro? I think it was Skype group, where they'd literally all get together and decide beforehand whether they were going to support give things good reviews or not before they'd even seen it, just based simply on who it was and which company it was that was producing it, you know, sort of thing. I mean, there's what they call it come today. Comic, what is it? There's a comic coming out called, is it Jawbreakers or something like that? It's on Indiegogo at the minute, and it's been done by a group of writers who used to work for like Marvel and stuff like that. That basically ended up stopping working for Marvel because they got sick of all the snowflake shit that was going off. Yeah, and they decided to do their own one-shot comic. And a load of the fucking snowflakey cunts have sort of started reading about it. And it's like, well, you don't have to read it if you don't want. but there's a guy on YouTube. It was reported. I'm gonna say I've not long since watched the Quarterings video about it, but he's got his own channel as well. Basically, he's gone into his local comic shop. You know, this guy's done a load of videos recently saying about, you know, he can't wait to read this comic. He's pledged towards the Indiegogo for it so he can get, you know, access or whatever. And he's done quite a few videos talking about it. You know, they're saying it might end up being quite a big thing because they've got all these, you know, like high tier artists and script writers on it. And he's gone into his local comic shop just to buy his usual stuff. You know, he says, I went into the shop. He says, and I had a look on the shelves, you know, because I noticed the woman behind the checkout was busy with somebody else. So he thought, well, I'll have a look, see if there's hotels I want while they're busy, and then I'll go put these down, pay for them, and then get stuff that they normally put away for me. So he's done that, gone to the counter, put the comics down, gone to get his wallet out, and said, you know, like, oh, what about me, you know, my other stuff that I've got put away? And she says, oh, can I just take your name, please? And so he's told her his name, you know, and the woman behind the counter, because he took a video of it as well, blue-haired, problem glasses, yeah? You'll probably guess where this is going, right? Yeah. She, apparently, as soon as he said what his name was, she's told him that basically he's not allowed to come in the shop anymore, wouldn't tell him why, and just say, you know, she says, we're not going to serve you in here anymore. And he's, you know, and he's like, why? And she says, oh, you know, I want you to leave. So he's like, oh, all right then. And he's found out it's because he said about he's right excited for this comic, and because the Snowflakes don't agree with this comic for whatever reason, they've now banned him from his, you know, his local sort of thing.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's like he said. He says, you know, as we all know, the comic industry is thriving, and they can afford to turn, you know, especially the small indie shops like that one. They can afford to turn away customers.
No, they seriously can't. Yeah, I mean, you can't fucking, you know, you can't do that.
No, but it's like he says though. He says fair enough. He says you know, he has a fair amount of stuff put away every month. You know, behind counter there. He says it'll not take me long to either find somewhere else or just get them delivered direct from somewhere online. Yeah. But he says at the end of the day, he says I prefer to give money to independent shops.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But he says if they really, he says, but it's like he said there. He says if they really don't want me money, then that's fine. He says I'll spend it somewhere else.
Yeah. That's it.
At the end of the day, it's the store's loss if they do that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I mean, you get these bloody millennials, overprivileged. You know, they you know, born into the fucking world of the internet and entitlement, and the entitlement that really winds me up about it. Yeah. You know? And it's just like, really, come on now. You know, I mean, yeah, you're like that when you're a teenager, but when you reach
there's a video I shared. Yeah, there's a video I shared on Facebook today, and it's oh god, I forgot what to call him. It's I think it's Philip DeFranco. I'm not sure. Somebody like that. Oh no, Dave Rubin, and he's doing a talk somewhere, and it's a brilliant. It's like a 15-minute video, and it's him doing a talk somewhere, and it's just his interaction with this one woman in the audience. You know, when he's doing Q&A sort of thing, and it's just literally her spending ages mouthing off at him and, you know, swearing at him and calling him names, all names under the sun and stuff, you know, and getting proper fucking triggered, you know, basically triggering herself, talking about how much she's oppressed and everything like that, or how much oppression and racism and stuff there is in the world. And he says, like, you know, he says, well, how do you feel oppressed? He says, how are you oppressed? And then she's like, oh, well, I don't wish to enact that emotional labor for free. So he goes, right, hang on then. So he goes through his pocket, gets 20 quid out. And he's like, right, okay, here you are. I'll pay you 20 quid. Now talk about it. Somebody else in the audience says, you know, oh, I'll give you 20 quid to talk about it as well.
Yeah.
Still doesn't give him an answer. Yeah. And then she spends going on about, you know, like, oh, freedom, you're saying that hate speech is freedom of speech. And he's like, yeah, it is. And she's like, yeah, but what right do you have to offend somebody? He says, you know, he says, that's the whole point of free speech. He says, you don't have the right not to be offended. Then, you know, later on, she manages to thing herself by saying that, you know, she has the right to say, you know, all sorts of stuff about anybody. It doesn't matter whether it offends them or not. But, you know, if you say something she disagrees with, obviously, then, you know, that's offensive.
But the thing is, though,
no, and he catches her with that, and then he's just like, he says, so basically, he says, for the past, 15 minutes or so I've been talking to you. He says, you had those 2 black women in the audience stand up and just start rhythmically chanting that, hate speech causes racism or whatever. He says, I've given you 20 and somebody else has given you 20 because you wouldn't talk about the issue that you raised because you wanted paying for it. He says, so I've made sure you got paid for it. He says, you've still not brought up anything interesting to discuss. He says, and you're now saying that, whereas I don't have the right to say what I want, you should have. And then you wonder why people won't take you seriously and stuff like that. And it's just beautiful, just say, because she's there, screaming and shouting. He just like sometimes listens to every word she says and then responds to it calmly and thinking. I mean, it's like she says there, she says, she says to him, what is your background? And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, what's that got to do with it? She says, well, you're gay and Jewish, aren't you? And he goes like, yeah. He goes like, well, what about your ancestors? He goes, yeah, yeah. He says, yeah, a lot of Jewish people were killed in the Holocaust, yeah. And she's like, yeah. He says, I understand that a lot of Jewish people killed in the Holocaust. So what? He says, that's something that's happened in the past. He says, look, we can't do anything about it now. He said that we shouldn't discuss discuss the Holocaust. And she's like, oh yeah, but I don't want to not discuss the Holocaust. She says, I just want to stop people from saying things about it, that aren't complimentary. He goes, well, tough, you can't.
Well, you can't. I mean, the thing is, though, I mean, you can't go around life checking on what you say, because no matter what you say, somebody will get offended by it, right? And you can't, but their natural reaction to what you say is to get offended. That's fair enough, but they shouldn't be going around the internet going, well, I can't believe he said that to me, this, that, and the other. I mean, even the thing is as well, I mean, even if you're being the most innocent and stuff like that, and you just say something innocuous like, I've got to put a post in a hole, right? For example, somebody will take that as, as inappropriate, but you've just said a sentence that words, that does exist in the world.
It's like, it's sort of like, I've got to put a post in a hole. It's like, I'm offended. Well, a post, another word for a post could be penis, and a hole could be a vagina. So therefore, you're talking about rape, and I'm disgusted.
Exactly.
Well, have you seen that bit? Oh God, what film is it? Is it Bowfinger, the one where he makes the film with Eddie Murphy and that he don't know that he's in it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there's that bit there where he's reading the script for that film, and he says, "Where is it? The letter K appears 333 times in this." Yeah. And he's like, what do you mean? He goes, KKK 333 times, KKK. Is you calling me a nigger? And he's like, well, no, it's not exactly Shakespeare. And he's like, Shakespeare, you calling me a spear chucker? Not like that,
That's it. Yeah,
it's you have to take, they have to take the most massive leaps of hyperbole in order to make whatever whatever it is they're offended about sound offensive.
Well, that's it. You like I say, you can make anything offensive. You could, by well, look at the Faith Connors at TF Nation and Auto Assembly in the past, and that. They've, credit to them though. To be fair, a lot of the time is that they don't interact with you. Fair enough, but there have been a couple of occasions when I've had disapproving looks from them, and and I'm just thinking, well, you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, so why should you get pissed off because I'm not doing the same thing as you?
Oh, because they're better than you. Didn't you know that? People are really better than you because obviously they're God's chosen, and God's like all powerful and everything, and there's not one bit of anything about any religion, well, about Christianity, because all other religions exist. But there's nothing at all in the Bible that's in any way contradictory or incorrect in any way. It's all correct. It's all right. And if you don't believe what's written in that Bronze Age book of superstition, then obviously you're scum, and
Oh,
we have fucking witnesses the other day. My mum had to go up to him. Ugh. But, the thing is, though, I mean, 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 the thing is, though, I And where is it? This woman, apparently she said something to her and she says, "Oh, why do you think this?" And my mum's like, "I don't know." And she goes, "Do you think anybody knows what happens in the future?" My mum's like, "No." And she goes, "Well, do you mind if I just show this and get some fucking watchtower out?" And mum just says, "Oh, fuck off."
Oh, my nephew dealt with them a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago, I was walking through my local town. You get these, Christians like giving speeches and stuff, trying to get you to become a Christian or other religions.
He stood in the middle of the street like, repent, repent.
Yeah, and he came to us like, you believe in God, don't you? I said, no. He said, no, right, you've got to believe in God. You've got to be, you've got to believe in God. You're His gift. I was like, well, and I just went, well, scientifically, they've never proven that God exists. So bugger off.
Yeah, there's actually more evidence to suggest to the existence of extraterrestrials than there is of God. But then you'll get the ones who try and be clever and say, where is it? Oh God, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence.
That's it.
And it's like, well, considering the fact that they say like, oh, God will show signs of His presence. It's like, well, there's not really. It's like, oh yeah, but what about like the thingy at Lourdes or whatever, where the Virgin Mary appeared to a small child. It's like, you ever thought that the small child was lying?
Yeah.
It's like I say, it's like, if you want to announce friends,
it's like saying, oh, Darth Vader came down to me from the planet Vulcan and said I should go out with fucking Lorraine.
Yeah, I know. That's totally believable.
It is, exactly.
Yeah. That was the other one as well. It's like, what I always get is a good one is when they say that God provides for everything, yet they have to pass collection plate round church. Yep. And then it's like, and I had some go. Well, maybe God does provide because He provides a person to pass the collection plate around church. It's like, yeah, but even in the Bible, it's Jesus said that money is disgusting, and whatever. So why does the church need to ask for money?
Prime example of that, when they had the big storm in America a few years ago, and and one of these fucking, what do they call them? Pastors, evangelist on TV who's got like, a mansion that's got like 27 rooms in it and he's worth fuckloads of money. And he's like, oh, you must help your fellow men and stuff like that. And all these people were kicked out of their homes because they'd all been destroyed and that, and never once went, oh yeah, I've got loads of empty bedrooms, come and stay at my house for a few days. No.
Oh yeah, it's like Lily Allen, with the Grenfell fire. Yeah, Lily Allen decided to appear on something, I can't remember what it was. And they said to her like about, oh, would you put anybody from Grenfell on? Oh no, first it was the thing at Calais where she decided to go there and then apologise on behalf of Britain for some reason. Yeah. And said, basically Britain, we're all scum because we won't let all these, like fucking. And she calls them refugees, but they're not refugees because they're not, seeking refuge from anywhere. They're just seeking money. Yeah. And and they said, well, would you take one in? And she went, yeah. Guess how many she took in?
None.
Exactly. And then she did the same with the Grenfell fire. She said there about, people, or celebrities or whatever should be willing to put people up in their houses and stuff like that. Guess how many she put up? Well, there was not only her, but quite a few. Yeah, not one. Even though I said about it and somebody said, no, she put a single mother up. And I'm like, can you show evidence of that?
Yeah.
And they're like, no. And it's like, so yeah, it's like, it's all it is, it's just virtue. I mean, fucking Lily Allen's a bit of a stupid bastard anyway. I mean, she's always a thing going on. Yeah. I can remember she did a program years ago where she wanted to set up where she said she took a break from a recording contract or whatever, or music making or whatever she calls it. And she wanted to like live like normal people do, and it's like she set up this shop and she was seriously expecting people to pay £200 a day to rent stuff that she'd been and bought, like old retro clothing from like Oxfam and stuff like that. And they had that there's that woman that gives advice on business. I forgot what she's called.
Oh, I know you mean.
And she said she had a look at the business model and everything like that. And she says to her, she says, this particular dress, she says, you've got it on the rack for £285 to buy or £200 to rent per day. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, do you see where I'm coming from?
Well, they could buy it just for an extra 85 quid. Who's going to bother renting it?
Let's be fair. Let's be fair though. Considering she picked up nearly all of this retro clothing from places like Oxfam and things like that, she bought it for like a £5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to go, oh well, I'll buy it for a £5 and then I'll sell it on, and people can buy it off me for 285 quid. It's like, you know, oh well, I could just go to fucking Oxfam instead.
Yeah, I'll go on eBay.
Yeah,
it's just that they have,
and that's how disconnected. I mean, it's like I say about, you know, all these celebrities and stuff like that. They're so disconnected from real life. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
really, yeah. Particularly reality TV stars as well.
Star, wasn't she? You know, she was kind of a teenage, early 20s when she became famous. Obviously, her family were already famous because she's Keith Allen's daughter. But that fame really gets to them if they become famous when they're young, and they get wrapped up in their life.
I don't. It doesn't. It depends on the person, because some people can be famous from a kid and be quite functional with it, and then, you know, the other side of the coin, you turn into Jake Lloyd. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To be fair.
Or Edward Furlong.
Yeah, you know, all them ones that got, you know, was in a film or TV show that was massive success when they were a kid, and then they can't break from that. See, if it was me, I'd go, well, I've earned, you know, fucking X amount of $1 million, fucking feet up and fucking watch TV, you know what I mean? But that's just me. Rather than, I mean, yeah, there's that temptation to go on drugs and drink and stuff like that, but I mean, I think a lot of the time it's just because
what happened to the Home Alone kid, Macaulay Culkin. His parents took all his money. His parents only wanted him to become a famous child actor to make money for them.
Well, yeah, there's that. I mean, a lot of the time though is they get into these scrapes and, you know, go to jail for a couple of days and all this kind of stuff because they want to be noticed. It's the ego of them wanting to be noticed and in the public eye, no matter what they've done, what they haven't done, or anything like that. It's still news that's generating about them, and and a lot of them are egotistical enough to go. Well, they make money off the press, yeah. You know, and then they go on Ellen or Oprah or something and go, well, it was a bad state of my life, and so they cry on TV because they've done some drugs or whatever. Now, the other side of the coin is, right, the average person on the street who goes, you know what, I'm going to take some drugs today and have a car crash and this, that, and the other, and get sent to prison, and they're sent to prison for 10, 15 years or whatever. But a celebrity does it, and they get sent to prison. If they're lucky, they'll get community service.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it's like, look at were it Paris Hilton or Lindsay Lohan that got caught driving whilst fucking pissed out of her tits, and she got loads of coke as well.
Yeah,
and then she was sent to, I think it was 3 months in prison, and she spent, I think it was all of 50 minutes in prison.
Yeah,
they literally took her in. Literally took her to prison on bus, put her in the processing area, and then something went off, and then next thing they were releasing her.
Yeah, she cried a bit, didn't she? And they went, oh.
Yeah. You know that N-Dubs girl, Talisa, I mean, you know that she was entrapped by that journalist who pretended to be a Bollywood film director, and he tricked her into getting in contacts for drugs. And she ended up, and she was like messed up for a year. You know, she had to prove that she.
Yeah. I can remember that there. But this is the thing though, when they say like, oh, he tricked her into. It's like, well, not really. If she knew people to contact for drugs anyway, then, you know, he says like, oh, do you know anywhere I could get some drugs? And she's like, yeah. That's not really tricking her, is it?
No.
It'd be tricking her if like, you know, he went and said, you know, somewhere to get some drugs from, and she's like, no, not really. It's like, oh, come on, you must know somewhere. And then she'd be like, oh, I don't know. And, you know, then went and asked around a bit. Yeah. You know, and then somebody went, oh, well, I can get you some from somewhere if you really want some. And she's like, oh, yeah, you know, Dave here says he can get some if you want some. And it's like, aha. You know, that's tricking you. But you know, just going like, oh, do you know, let's get some drugs on me. Goes, yeah, that's not tricky.
It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, dropping everything. Yeah, but you know, we'll derail this conversation quite well, haven't we?
Yeah.
Well, that's it. It just gets boring talking about fucking toys all the time.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, as much as we like toys, but at the same time,
Yeah. Well, that's it. It's like, you know, it's like the whole thing with toy. You know, it's Transformers are hardly worth bothering buying anymore.
yeah, you know, I'm in exactly the same boat.
So,
They're not really good anymore. There's not a lot you can do with these you know, this latest stuff. Not like the older stuff like the G1 and
it's
stuff that were actually.
fucking expensive as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Transformers are a bit crap now. Star Wars stuff's getting ridiculous because nobody wants to buy it anymore. Because there's like maybe one or two memorable characters per film. You know.
You know, I mean,
there's no else I really buying. You know, that way anymore. I mean,
Have you any figures lately, or anything, or?
well, I've been buying the Batman the Animated Series figures because they are fucking pretty awesome, to be fair. I've been buying these a lot.
And when they're now turning up in B&M for like £6 a piece.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you can't turn them down, no? It's like fucking hell yeah. Yeah.
What about you, John? Have you bought any new toys recently? Any new plastic of any kind?
No, I haven't bought anything for a while. Kind of holding out for TFN, really.
Yeah, same here now.
But it's the thing is as well, and I've noticed it, and people going, oh, it's because of the internet and stuff like that. It's because kids don't play with toys anymore.
No, they don't. Everything they want has a video screen on it.
All they want is a games console, computer, laptop, tablet, or phone. That's all the kids want, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I've noticed it. I went to a toy shop. I have noticed it.
You know the fidget spinners, the fidget spinner craze. Like everyone was, even though it didn't last too long, but everyone was quite astonished that this thing that had been designed for people with ADHD or autism, suddenly that was kind of like an old-fashioned sort of toy that suddenly every kid wanted, and they were cheap to buy. So
well, there's always going to be crazes. I mean, right now it's slime. Is the big craze. Slime
I heard about it.
And LOL dolls, right? Like these little spheres that you can get, and the idea is that you don't know what you're getting inside it until you open it up, you know, blind bag sort of stuff. And they are going stupid nuts for them. So those are selling.
Yeah.
You look at Transformers and you look at Star Wars and anything else, even Power Rangers and wrestling figures. It's steady. But it's not, oh, the new waves of Transformers out and all the kids around buying them and, you know, and selling out. No, we've had Titans Return stuff in since day one that is still on the shelf. That's got dust on it. It's been there that long, right?
Yeah.
And because people like us who want this sort of shit will go Big Bad Toy Store, Kapow Toys, and go, right, I want this, and then send it to your house. So it's only for Paw Patrol's a big seller. You know, the sort of little kids that still don't, you know, haven't seen a tablet yet or a computer yet or anything like that. They're the ones that are buying toys. And the parents that buy toys, and I've seen this almost every Christmas, this happens, they come in and they go, oh, he's 6, but I don't know what he likes. And I'm thinking, are you his fucking mum and dad? Sure, you must know what he's into.
Yeah, but that requires making effort, doesn't it?
Does,
because you can't even be asked fucking. I mean, I know somebody and their kids really like Paw Patrol, but they also like play Minecraft and stuff like that as well. And you know, it's like there because they're quite attentive parents. You know, then you get the other sort there that are just like, you know, the sort of see the kids, you know, sort of like after school, and you know, they'll get in from work at like 5 o'clock, and you know, either nanny or after school will get them kids back, and you know, then they'll put kids to bed at 7 o'clock, so they've got like 2 hours to see the kids, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you know, then it gets to weekend, and they you you know, the just basically spend all day telling kids to sit down and shut up sort of thing.
Yeah, is my phone play on the games?
Yeah, it's phone playing games, or about you know, go on your Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, back when I was a kid, I mean, I had like, because I grew up in the 90s, in the early 90s. I was a kid then, and back then, you know, plastic things were still what most kids wanted. I didn't have a games console till I was 9, and you know, I had, you know, a bedroom full of figures and, you know, toys. You know, I used to love playing. But my parents say you don't play with your things enough.
Well, I had the same thing. I had a Game Boy, I had a Mega Drive, I had a SNES, and I had all the rest of it. And I had, you know, but I went outside on my bike, I fucking played with my toys, I read fucking books. You know what I mean? You know, I viewed it as some days you didn't want to go out, which is fine. It's summer holiday. But like,
I'll be back in a few minutes, okay? Just talk about something else.
But I mean, you know, I had all the games consoles and that stuff like that. But I saw them as that's the thing I play when I've come in, or it's a rainy day, or you know, or just some days that, you know what, I can't be asked to go out today or whatever. I'm going to sit and play my Super Nintendo. But kids don't want to go out anymore. They don't. My nephews have got bikes and stuff like that they haven't seen in fucking 5 or 6 years. And my sister bought a fuck ton of stuff for them at Christmas, and they've not even touched. There's still stuff wrapped up from 2 Christmases ago in the bedroom. You know, still in their cellophane covers. And as soon as they got a tablet or a thing, and they're just, my nephew's got a laptop, and all he can hear upstairs is, you know what I mean? And it's telling him, like, here, go read a book. And I'm like, one day I went, right, we're getting the Lego out, and got a big fucking thing of Lego, build something. And they're like, put 2 or 3 bits together. I've built something. Can I go on the Xbox now? You've been building 2 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
And it's telling, it really is. It's, and then when you see anything that does sell, it's the collectors that have come in and bought it all, because the Star Wars fans will come in as soon as the new wave's out, buy the whole lot in one go.
Yeah.
You know, and the Transformers fans, which are rare in my shop, you know, because like I say, we either wait till conventions coming up, or we, you know, go online and get it.
Yeah.
So
plus, I mean, it's like, you know, Smiths have got this here in Doncaster has got loads and loads and loads of the last night stuff. Just sat there gathering dust.
Yeah.
They've got a little tiny bit of, you know, like where is it? Return of the Primes or whatever, I don't know. Power of the Primes, I think.
Yeah.
They've had maybe 1-2 boxes of that in, and that's sort of sold off, you know, not really quickly, but, you know, just over a short period of time. At the minute, they've got the Voyager size, but they've got Grimlock and Starscream, and then they did have some of the deluxe size Dinobots. But I've looked at the thing. It's like I thought about getting Grimlock, but I thought no, fuck it. And you know, all stuff like that's not going very quick. I do notice that the pop vinyl stuff seems to go pretty quick and everything like that. I mean, it's not on, but then it's like, you know, Toys R Us had stuff on, you know, they still had fucking oh god, I can't remember which Transformers film it was. The one that came after the one with Shockwave in it.
Oh, Revenge of the Fallen.
Something like that, yeah. They've still got some of that stuff in when they closed down.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's the other little toy shop that's here, Toy Town, where is it? They've got Combiner Wars Soundwave, and then a load of Rescue Bots stuff, which the Rescue Bots stuff just gathers dust.
Yeah.
Nobody wants it.
No.
Not Rescue Bots. Well, the Rescue Bots and the robots.
What you actually do with the Rescue Bot stuff, it's normally just figures, isn't it? Little plastic figures.
Well, you can get there are a few like accessory sets and like little play sets that you can get. I mean, for a little kid, that's fine. I mean, it's on its 5th season, so it must be doing good, you know.
Yeah, that's one of the things that it's like. Because my mate's kids, he likes watching Paw Patrol and he likes watching Rescue Bots. But you know, it's like I say, you know, the main thing comes from the robots in disguise stuff. Nobody wants it.
No, because it's shit.
like I say, you go in on Bargains and B&M and your toy section, and they've got loads and loads of robots in disguise stuff, and it just sits there with a layer of dust on it.
Because it's shit. They're crap figures, and they're charging a ridiculous amount of money for these things. And the plastic quality is shocking. They look like there's no paint apps, no stickers, nothing like that. And they look like fucking fantastic toys. And they're charging 20-30 quid for them. And then we've got, I saw, we had it in the shop the other week, the Menosaur, the bra, you know, combiner Menosaur for robots in disguise. It stands about this tall, right? It's all combined. Yeah. And the limbs, I mean, all right, the G1 limbs weren't great, but I mean, there was playability with them. These things you could just stand up and then, you know, that's it. It's transformed. And then, you know, less than a fucking GoBot, right? And then it was £37 we had it in. That was full price, £37, right? And I'm thinking, there's not even 10 quid's worth of plastic in there.
I'm going to say, more than likely, you'll find that there's not even 2 quid's worth of plastic in it.
Yeah, because what they do is they do all these 2-step changes and 3-step changes and them stupid action figures that have got no paint apps on them at all. The Marvel ones are the worst because my nephew got one for Christmas. He got Spider-Man, and on the front, it's lovely and painted. On the back, no paint at all. Not a single drop of paint. And I'm thinking, they're like nearly 20 quid, 15, 20 quid. This is where the plastic's going. Shit like that nobody buys.
Yeah.
You know, and I know nobody buys it because nobody buys it in the fucking shop that I work in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what I say. I'd love to know who it is that buys them. You know, I don't know who's seen them. They're like 18-inch tall, like Star Wars figures.
Yeah.
But the just got the same articulation as the old Kenner figures had. You know, just like the arms go up and down and the legs go up and down. That's it. I'd love to know who buys them.
Yeah, nobody. We saw them at Christmas. Sold a few at Christmas because at Christmas parents go crazy and nuts and have no idea what to buy. They'll just grab anything at this point, particularly when it's like a week to go. They will just grab anything off the shelf. Oh, he likes Star Wars. It's vaguely Star Wars. We'll get him that, you know. But all year they're just stuck on the shelf doing fuck all. We've had some in the shop since Rogue One came out, and we've not sold. In fact, since fucking Force Awakens, we've had Finn in the shop. Nobody's bought them. We've got 100 in the back.
Nobody bought them, yeah. Well, that's it. It's because this is what I was saying about the Star Wars figures that's coming out. The Star Wars toy line is dying a death because they're not making the figures that both collectors and kids want.
No.
You know, it's like the collectors. You know, collectors aren't their primary. You know, aren't their primary audience. It's the kiddies, because it's the kiddies that will want to buy, you know, all the figures. Yeah. And, you know, and then obviously, you know, you'll get it where, you know, little Johnny breaks his Darth Vader figure, so he'll have to come back and buy a new one, you know. And, you know, when you get, like I was saying there, when last time I went with John and Sam, and it's like kids will go into a shop, like say they've just been to see, you know, The Last Jedi. Kids will go into a shop and they'll look at the Last Jedi toys, and the Last Jedi 3 3/4 figures are about a tenner a piece, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, like, so, you know, Dad will say to little Johnny, you know, like, go on, then you can have one Star Wars figure. Pick which one you want. So look at the figures, and, you know, it's like there's a Stormtrooper there, which, you know, he might get the Stormtrooper. There's a Darth Vader in the range, even though Darth Vader's not in the film. There's a Luke Skywalker, both old and young Luke. You know, he might get a Luke Skywalker. There's Han Solo in the range, even though Han Solo isn't in the film. You know, there's Kylo Ren. He's got, you know, his big flappy cloak and his big sword. You know, so there's better than average chance they'll get him. And then you've got Rose Tico. Who the fuck's that? You've got Finn in yet another different uniform, and then you've got what they call her, who I can't even remember her name because what's she called? Not Jyn Erso. The woman, the girl.
Ray.
What? Sorry.
Ray,
that's it. Yeah, you got, and it's like, oh, so which one do you want, little Johnny? And he's probably going to go for either Darth Vader or Kylo Ren.
Yeah,
and that's it. He won't want all else. You know, because it's like, well, Rose Tico's not really a character that did anything good in the film. Neither did Finn.
No.
Neither did Rey. Luke Skywalker does some cool stuff in it. Oh, then you've got the Stormtroopers, which usually always cool, and the Praetorians. And the only way you can get a Praetorian is to buy either in the 2-pack with Rey that nobody wants, or you buy the Black Series one, which Dad's not going to pay 25 quid for.
No, but
you know,
wait long enough.
Yeah. And then you go, oh, why is it that we're having to sell off boxes and boxes of Star Wars figures to places like Own Bargains and B&M and stuff like that?
£2 I paid for this one. £2.
Yeah. You know, it's like Hasbro's distributors in this country having to sell boxes of, well, unopened and unordered boxes of Star Wars figures and vehicles.
Bumblebee is a prime example. Everybody seems to think, especially Hasbro, seems to think, oh, everybody loves Bumblebee, and yet they were popping up in our bargains. There was seas of Bumblebee everywhere, and I'm thinking, well, if he's that, well, even if he is that popular, right? If everybody wants one, has already gone out and bought one, so why is that's all you can see is fucking Bumblebees?
Yeah, I can remember when the Home Bargains in Doncaster, back when there was only one Home Bargains in Doncaster.
Yeah.
Their entire selection of Transformers consisted of nothing but Revenge of the Fallen Bumblebee.
Yep, same as the one in Hull, yeah.
Yeah, that was all they had, literally all they had. And
it was just the one in Hull had the Dark of the Moon one. Because there was about 4 different versions of the Dark of the Moon Bumblebee.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that turned up. Yeah, that turned up. And then for about a week, they had the what series was it with where it was on sort of like light orange, yellow cards?
Oh, Hunt for the Decepticons.
That'll be because it had like was it Space Case?
Yeah.
And Tomahawk and stuff like that in it. Or was that Reveal the Shield? Can't remember, but it was one.
They were about the same time. There were. I think one led into the other.
Yeah, but that's it. That at my own bargains, they had nothing but it was Revenge of the Fallen Bumblebee, followed by Hunt for the Decepticons or whatever Bumblebee, and then for about a week, I think they must have got hold of about half a dozen boxes of either Reveal the Shield or Hunt for the Decepticons or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Stuff, and it came in and they put it on the shelves, and I got the orange and black plane. I can't remember what he's called. And Tomahawk. Yeah, Terror-Dive and Tomahawk. I got those 2, and then within a week of them being put on the shelves, they were gone, and it was just back to Bumblebee everywhere again.
Because I mean, I don't understand Transformers. The movies, say what you want about them, they're the same movie. Whichever one you watch, they're exactly the same fucking movie, right?
Yeah.
And we've been bombarded with them since 2007, right? And just what the world needs is a fucking... Because everybody goes, oh, Bumblebee's getting his own movie. And I said, well, he's had fucking 5 movies. Why does he need another one? Based on himself.
Yeah. Well, that's what I say. If they're going to do a Bumblebee movie on their own, when are they going to do a Hound movie or a Jazz movie? Oh, they're not, because... they've convinced themselves that kids only like Bumblebee.
Yeah. Or, God forbid, a Cosmos movie.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean?
Man, funny stuff. I just remember that about Star Wars figures.
Yeah.
When you go and you have a look at shops that are selling the Star Wars figures, one of the things you'll notice is that there are always multiple examples of a character called Constable Zuvio.
Yeah.
Right. Constable Zuvio got 3 3/4 inch figures, and he got his own Black Series figure as well. Yep. This was before the film had even come out.
Yep.
Unfortunately, all Constable Zuvio scenes in the Force Awakens were cut. So it's literally nobody knows who this character is or anything about him or any bearing he had on the plot of the film. So now all shops are left with is just tons and tons of carded 3 3/4 and Black Series Constable Zuvios that nobody wants because nobody gives 2 fucks about a character that's not even been in a film.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, way back in the day, you look at the 80s figures. You had figures that were, well, even the 77 figures. You had characters that were in the background.
Yeah.
Right? But they were only there to fill up, if you wanted to do a diorama, you could fill it up and put the figures in there.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But like I said, even back when I was a kid, I didn't give fucking two fucks about, you know, Yak Face or fucking, you know, that guy with the elongated head with the eye patch on it. I didn't give two fucks. Yeah. You know, all I wanted was the main.
The thing is, if you've got the Cantina playset,
yeah, then that's fine.
You'd want those figures because then you could like sort of rebuild the Cantina scene.
Yeah.
But you know, if you were just like
Hammerhead, Greedo. Yeah. Well, Greedo has the scene with Han Solo, and
but the thing is, Greedo's a memorable character because he has quite a lot of dialogue, and then he's in that one of the most famous scenes in Star Wars. That's fine. Yeah. But when you get, but I mean, look at Boba Fett is a prime example. Boba Fett has like 2 lines of dialogue in Empire, right?
Yeah,
and he's relegated down to a fucking well, not even a supporting character really. He's just a character that happens to be there, and he's got such a mystique about him now. I mean, but Constable Zuvio is not going to get that kind of fucking treatment in 20 years' time, is he?
No.
However, that'll be in 20 years' time. That'll be the
20 years' time when they maybe do a Force Awakens special edition and they put the scenes with him back in it. Yeah. And then everybody who's got a mint in box Black Series Constable Zuvio suddenly wangs them on eBay for like 3 million galactic credits or whatever it is, whatever money we're using by then.
Yeah. Trump coins.
Yay, Heil Trump.
Yeah. But you know, it's, and like I say, toy companies think that the kids will buy anything with Star Wars on it, and they fucking don't. They're probably more picky consumers than adults are.
Yeah,
because like you said, they're not going to want fucking characters that aren't even in the film. They'll want Darth Vader, and Luke Skywalker, and Kylo Ren or whatever.
Even if you'd not seen Star Wars, not seen the Star Wars films, or you look at the actual figure of Constable Zuvio, and he doesn't look like a character you want to buy. No. It doesn't look cool.
No.
The only people who are going to buy him are the completionists who want every Star Wars figure. That's the only ones that will buy it.
Yeah. There was this figure I found a convention, the first convention I went to, of Darth Vader. And it was the Darth Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi. Like, you get, with his helmet off with Sebastian Shaw's face, and his hand also comes, because he gets his hand cut off. I only ever saw that at collector's fairs. When you never saw that one in the shops. It had the same packaging. It's a funny market these days. I mean,
I can remember years ago when you remember when you used to still be able to buy Doctor Who figures from normal toy shops.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can remember I saw the very first figure came out. John Simmers, the Master. And the only ones that they had in the toy shop where I was, it was John Sim as the Master, and then it had got, I can't remember, it was some accessory. Oh, it was one Toclafane. And, I thought, I'm not bothered about getting that, And I went to see my mate who lives in Birmingham, and we were wandering around, and we went in that shop, that shop that's underneath Holiday Inn?
Oh, yeah.
That one there. And they got some Doctor Who things there, so I just thought, I'll just give it give them the once over, there's probably not going to be out different. And they got exactly the same figure, John Simmers, the Master, except this one came with, other stuff that weren't just Toclafane. And it was like, and then I thought, oh, that's one of those fucking, proper hardcore collectors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like that, and and then when it's like I looked at it, and it were like, the ones in Asda were fucking a tenner a piece, but this one was like, $18.99 or whatever, and all it came with was just like, it came with the Toclafane plus some other stuff, and it was just like, yeah. But yeah, it's like that. Like I don't even buy Doctor Who figures. I mean, I know the only time I'll buy Doctor Who figures now is when they do that yearly special at B&M.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this year's B&M box sets are looking a bit shit.
Well, I nearly bought. I was going to go get the Tom Baker one that had. What did he have in it? I think it's Sarah Jane.
No, the Tom Baker one had. Yeah. Oh, you mean this year's or last year's?
I think last year's. I think.
last year's, because I've got it here. It's got Tom Baker, where he's actually smiling.
Yeah.
Leela.
Leela, that's it. Yeah, that's the one.
And K9.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was going to get it because, well, I like Tom Baker, and I thought, I don't have a figure of him, and I thought, well, just that set's quite nice. I mean, for 12 quid, can't argue, can you?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Plus, the one that came out in the B&M set, it's the only figure where Tom Baker's actually smiling.
Yeah,
all the other Tom Baker figures that have come out, he's got this sort of like, you know, like he's just walked through a door and you jumped out and shouted boo.
It's the facial expression from the title sequence.
Yeah.
I think that's where they sculpted him from. But but Doctor Who figures though, I mean, the larger ones were really good. They're really good figures. Yeah. But they're not worth anything. They're worth they're actually mint on card ones are worth less than loose ones are.
Yeah.
And that's bizarre. Even the fairly rare ones are still worth. You could probably get most of them for £100. You know, the whole set. You know, everything.
Well, I don't know. There's some ones. I mean, I got the set that had got Tony Ainley in a suit and Peter Davison with his cricket hat on.
Yeah.
And that was a 2-pack. And that one is quite expensive because it's one of them that you could only get. I can't remember where it was.
Oh, no,
I made all the hardcore collectors fucking kill themselves because I opened it.
Yeah. But I mean,
the hardest ones to get that I know of is they did a range, and it was first and second Doctor, but everything was painted as though it was black and white.
Yeah, they had. I remember seeing them in that comic shop in Birmingham. Yeah, because they both came with a Dalek, didn't they?
Yeah,
yeah.
And as far as I know, they're the hardest ones to get. The only other one that's really difficult to get is the set that they did at Toys R Us, which has got, it's got Paul McGann. I can't remember what suit he's got, and he's got a red Dalek called Dalek Alpha, and that one literally, as soon as they took it out of the box, put it on the shelf, it was gone.
Yeah.
That one. I think that was a short pack because it was from the same set I got the Invisible Dalek.
Oh, from Planet of the Daleks.
Yeah,
but I mean, but I mean, it's what got me is when they were bringing out figures quite regularly, and the Cybermen sets were cool because you could get box sets of like the original Cybermen and the Cyber Controller in it. They were quite cool, and they was doing all stuff like that, really good stuff. And then they did this, and I think this was probably the fucking death nail for the Doctor Who figures was when they did Cassandra, because who wants a fucking Cassandra figure?
Yeah.
Right? And then they did Destroyed Cassandra for the same money, right? But less of a figure. And I'm like, who's buying this?
Oh, yeah, because Ashton's did a video about that. Because they were like, the original one, it came with, it was Cassandra on a frame, and then it had the that guy with it as well. Yeah, and then the second figure that came out with it was just the frame with no Cassandra on, nothing else.
That was it. And I'm like, who's? And then the wrecked Cyberman. I'm like, well, okay, that's fine, but why isn't that in a box set with other Cybermen?
Yeah, there was the what they call it one that turned up, the Cyberman with a gladius sticking out of its chest.
Yeah.
And when that first turned up, it was really rare. I can't remember where it was you're supposed to have got it from. It was like you had to go to the Doctor Who convention or something like that, and that was the only place you could get it. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, you know, because I got one when it was still mint in its bag, you know, because it weren't on card, it only came in a bag.
Yeah.
And I got one, it was mint in bag, and I think I paid about 15 quid for it. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, loads of them started turning up.
Yeah,
like it went from me paying 15 quid for it, mint in bag, to being able to pick them up for a quid. Same with the wrecked Cyberman as well. The wrecked Cyberman was the same. I think that was an Argos exclusive.
Yeah, and then there were loads in B&M. There were tons and tons of them. I remember seeing them going, who's buying a fucking Cyberman with missing an arm and a leg? Really?
There's this I've got all the day. What is it? Loot Crate exclusive. It's the Eleanor Mustang from Gone in 60 Seconds.
I got that in a Loot Crate.
Yeah, quid from fucking Poundland.
Yeah. Because it just shows you how shit the loot crate's got. I mean, when I got one, and it was actually cool stuff in it. There was some really unique items in there. I thought, oh, this is pretty cool, this. And then they were just like, and then they were guaranteeing you a T-shirt every time. And I thought, yeah, you know what? And then I got one recently. The one that fucking broke my back was the fucking Alter Ego one, which was last July, and it was the franchise in it was Spider-Man. Fair enough. Marvel. I went, all right. Transformers, and I thought, yeah, cool, Transformers, I'll have that. And then something else, I can't remember what it was. And then in it, you got like one of them Q figs, which are popping up in Bone Bargains as well. Of Spider-Man, which is quite nice. It's quite a nice little figure. Fair enough. I mean, you could pay 10 quid for this thing. I thought, yeah, that's not bad. And a tenner for a T-shirt, that's fine. And then, but the T-shirt they sent me was 2 sizes too small, despite it saying double XL.
Huh.
And I tried sending it back, and they wanted nothing to do with it. And I went, oh well, that's fine. And then this is the thing that fucking broke me. I got a plastic bowl with Hulk's fingers on it, and I was like, "What is this?" Right? You know, like a cereal bowl, but with Hulk's fingers on it. So it's like the Hulk's holding this bowl, and I'm like, why?
Yeah,
why?
That's something that they put in a. Well, it's recently been Easter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You looked at the things there was like Easter, but there were like some that were for Easter, but they didn't have chocolate eggs in. They had like cereal bowls and stuff like that.
Yeah, something you find for a kids' party. You know what I mean? And you buy like a pack of 10 of them, and they've got the Hulk on or something like that. And it stunned me because what I did was I opened it up first before I did the video, just to have a look around because I'd seen somebody's video first because I was doing the unboxing thing. I was doing that kind of pretentious bullshit, and then I opened it up and I looked at it, got it out, and I went. I just stared at it for about 5 minutes, going, Why have they put this in? Why isn't it like a really cool keyring or a really cool figure or something, you know?
Mm.
And I'm like,
I can't remember which one it was. I can't remember whether it was Loot Crate or was the other one Nerd Block, I think it was.
Yeah.
And somebody I was watching got one, and they opened it up, and there was something in it that you could buy from Poundland.
Yeah.
It had literally been on sale in Poundland for months before. Mm. And it's like, well, hang on a minute, why is that in this, 25 or £35 a month fucking collector's box?
Yeah.
Could have just gone down to Poundland and bought it for, oddly, £1.
Yeah. So, John, do you still collect the anime Loot Crate? Or,
Well, I want, there's a Star Trek one, which I want, because the stuff in that is quite good. And this is the reason why I started getting Loot Crate as well, is because stuff like this. You had a really cool T-shirt, actually. It was the Enterprise D laid, like a plan at the top view of it, laid over a Borg cube design. And I thought, that's really cool, I want that T-shirt. And then there was like a really nice Locutus of Borg figure, and there was like quite a nice QMX mini ships of the Enterprise D, which the Eagle Moss is better, but still, that's not bad. And a couple of other bits and pieces. But they were charging like $60, $70 for this. And I'm like, that should be a $30, a 30 quid box, because that's the stuff that you promised me in the first place.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the videos you did, John, about the anime Loot Crate, and you used to get some good stuff in there, didn't you? Like, you get a manga, you could get a DVD.
Yeah, the few, I only got about, I think, 3 of them in total. But yeah, I mean, personally, I've had a few. I've had, I think I've had a gaming one, I've had a horror one, I've had just a regular one, like what Tony's talking about. I've had loads of. I mean, personally, I think the anime ones are good because, like you said, you can get like free manga and T-shirts and all sorts of stuff for them.
Well, this is one of the coolest things I got out of the Loot Crate. It's the fucking Planet Express ship.
Futurama.
Yeah. So it's stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, more of this stuff,
Yeah.
But no,
not fucking inflatable fucking crown.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I knew they went that when he got that, and it was like when he got it out, and he was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
He's like,
Inflatable fucking crown.
the fucking inflatable fucking crap. You know, that's like sub Poundland stuff. You know, not even Poundland sell crap like that.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous. I mean, it really is. I mean, there's that other one though that Ashins was getting. It was the 80s one and the 90s one, and then you were guaranteed to get a game in there, like a Game Boy game or a NES game or a Atari game, something like that. And then you'd get like some really obscure figures. Like there was a Street Shark figure he got, and then there was like a Turtles figure he got. You know, and a GoBot as well. You know, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Was it like Retro Crate or something like that?
Yeah, and you could get like an 80s one or an 90s one.
Yeah, I can remember because there's one that, what is it? Him that used to be Irate Gamer. He talks about, where is it? Was it Retro Games Crate or something like that? And I looked that up because I thought, oh, I wonder what that's like. And it's like, all it is just that basically they go around, you know, like car boots and stuff, buying, you know, old games and stuff for a few quid a piece. And then they'll stick 2 or 3 of them in a box and send it to you and charge you 50 quid for it.
Yeah.
Like, well, I could just go car boot and get them myself.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, now car boots, you can't even get stuff like that at car boots now.
No.
It's like charity shops as well. Paul Poe, I mean, I'm sure we've discussed this about it before.
Yeah, Paul Poe, I don't know.
I don't know how he does it. Yeah. He managed to get fucking great stuff all the time. I go to my local charity shops. They have the same old shit. You know, I mean, years ago, you could get stuff like that. Now, you know, I mean, there was one charity shop just up the road here, and I went in there just out of a whim, and they had loads of Star Wars novels. You know what I mean? For like 10 pence. And I went fucking nuts and got about 20 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I can remember the old Salvation Army shop that used to be where I used to live. And I can remember walking past there on my way home from work one day and just seeing they've got loads of Star Trek books.
Yeah.
And I went in and they must have got about, 2 dozen. And I thought, oh, nice one. But I'd only got enough money on me to get a couple. So I got a couple. And then I went back a couple of days later and I said, oh, have you sold all them Star Trek books? And, you know, sour-faced old bitch behind counter, you know, because it can't be a Sally Army shop without a sour-faced old bitch behind counter. She went, oh, no, we sent them back because we didn't think that, you know, we didn't think they were suitable for this shop, so we sent them to the main shop in town.
Rubbish. Anyone would buy
we didn't think that they would be suitable, but yet they've got all fucking Danielle Steele and stuff like that. I think about getting shagged roughly up the arse by a man called fucking John or whatever, who's, you know, rides a sweaty horse or something. Yeah.
Trashy romance shite.
Yeah. Rosalind quivered as Archibald touched her naked thigh.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell.
He
my granny's moving.
First time in
30 years.
Fucking bullshit.
I mean, we've got, in my area here, we've got quite a few charity shops in town. We've got 2 that are mainly bookshops. And they often get good stuff in. They get comics in. They can get some old graphic novels in.
Yeah.
And I recently bought a few stuff. Like in total, I bought 2 comics for the price of £3. I got a Transformers comic book, nice big one of the older ones, and I got. In some cases, they had paper, you know, good paperback comics in good condition. They don't do those as much anymore. But,
no.
Well, the charity shops in Ezel Square are pretty cool, John. Have you ever been in those? And very, very occasionally you can get some good stuff. Because I got all the Dark Tower books for £1 in a nice big box set, and I went, fucking quid? Yes, please. You know what I mean?
All the charity shops we've got left now in Doncaster, we've got this British Art Foundation, which call it a charity shop. It's a bit of a, you know, it's you feel dirty calling it a charity shop because they've got stuff in, but it's like they want to charge like, you know, sort of like nearly new prices for them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they've got what did I get from there? Oh, I got a reference book for something, and it was like a fiver, and it's like, all right, a fiver for that. But then they've got like old Top Gear annuals and stuff like that. They want like a tenner for them.
Yeah, whatever.
Stuff like that. And then they've got, like PC, PC CD-ROM games in.
Yeah.
For a five. It's like, they're like 20 years old.
Yeah, none of them are going to work. Yeah.
No. And then
they're
probably
not worth 50 pence, are they?
Yeah, I mean, we used to have a Samaritan's shop, and it never did very well because first and foremost, it was at the wrong part of town. It was on the outskirts of town, over again where, fucking bingo and stuff like that is. So they hardly got anybody walking past it. And then whenever you went in, it just looked like literally it took some bags of rubbish and emptied them out onto shelves. It's like I say, you've got your two extremes. You've got your charity shops that sell stuff that, it could be mistaken for new. And then you've got your other sort of charity shops where everything literally does look like junk.
Well, that's it. I mean, you can occasionally find good stuff. In the case of, you've got to go there every day, to find something. But it does happen. But at the same time, it's like a few years ago. Because the thing is now as well, the reason is because people think they'll rummage around the attic and they'll find a GoBot and they'll find a transformer that they had 20 years ago and think, oh, I'll put this on eBay. Some fan will buy this at full price. And it's missing an arm and fucking all the wheels are gone. That sort of thing. And they go, oh, £100, real rare transformer. And you go, that's clearly a GoBot, but there you go.
Yeah.
But still, that's what people think is they don't take him to charity shops anymore. I mean, I took a few.
My nan used to be like that. She had this weird idea that if you buy something and then sell it on, you've always got to sell it on for more than what you paid for it. And it's like she tried to sell. What was it? She tried to sell one. So I said about selling some. I can't remember what it were. And she said like, oh, how much you asking for it? Like, and I said like, 20 quid or something. And then she goes, well, that's not a very good idea. She says, it were £50 brand new, so you should be trying to get at least 100 for it. And I'm like, well, people are not going to pay 100 for it. Well, yeah. And it's like, I mean, she spent years trying to convince me that this portable telly that she got, that she actually bought before I was even born, right? That's how old it was. She tried to convince me that was both brand new and worth a lot of money, even though it was barely functional. It's literally, it ended up being the telly that I plugged all my games consoles into. And by then, like the tuner functions on it, because it used to tune it in, you used to have to twiddle those little knobs.
Oh, yeah.
The tuner function on it. Yeah, the tuner function on it barely worked anymore. It's literally, you'd spend ages trying to tune it in as best you could to pick up even TV. And then you'd watch telly for a while, and all of a sudden, picture would just start degrading again.
Yeah.
And she tried telling me that telly, it's brand new and it's worth a lot of money. It's not. I says it's a piece of junk. I says it's older than me, and and it's because she ran about buying a new telly, and she wanted to try and sell this one so that then she could pay for a new telly with thousands of pounds that she'd make off selling this old telly.
Yeah.
And it was like trying to convince her that, it's a piece of shit. It belongs in a skip,
Well, that's it, It's,
yeah.
Well, some people think there's value in stuff, and sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't.
Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. Yeah, I mean, it's like I say, she'd watch like Antiques Roadshow, and, they always managed to get one per series that, bought something from Car Boot for £1, and it turns out it's a, really valuable lost fucking painting done by Van Clomp or something.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah, or something like that. And, she were always going on about stuff like that, and it's like, well, have you been to any car boots recently? No. Have you been anywhere recently? No. Well, how do you expect stuff to be worth money then if you don't go looking for it?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like the Constable Guavo figures, or whatever he's called. Will they be worth £10,000 in fucking 20 years' time?
No,
it might be. I doubt it.
Well, you on the one hand, They could be, because there's that many of them about at the minute that if people buy them and keep them, mint on card, because let's just face it, most of them are going to end up doing the rounds in cheaper shops. It won't be long before they're turning up in Poundland, and then once Poundland's got bored of them, they're either going to end up going in skip or whatever. So that means that if you've got a well looked after mint on card or mint in box Constable Zuvio figure, it might be worth summer. On the other hand, there's that many of them about at the minute that there are too numerous. There's that many of them that in 20 years there might still be that many of them.
Yeah, still in Poundland.
Therefore they're neither rare nor sought after.
Yeah. I mean, it's entirely possible, but you can never tell. I mean, it's stuff like you look at the trail end of the original Star Wars figures, the Kenner stuff, and some of them are not worth anything, and then you get things like Yak Face and is it Imperial Dignitary, which all the kids wanted, are worth silly money now. If you've got a mint on card on, because nobody bought them back then, and they were obviously the limited run because they were last end figures. But still in that line, though, we never got a Grand Moff Tarkin, and we never got fucking Rebel Soldier.
Yeah, it's I was going to say it's the very first Grand Moff Tarkin turned up. I think it was in was it Power of the Force 2?
Yeah,
in the sort of mid-late 1990s. That was the first, and it was a crap figure.
Yeah, because all them were crap figures.
Yeah, I mean the Grand Moff Tarkin I've got, it's what they call it, the Wayne Pygram version.
Oh, there's one scene of him walking away.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like him at a distance.
Face, didn't they? And someone else. They, like in Rogue One, obviously they did the full CGI effect.
Yeah. Yeah. In Rogue One, it was what they call it, like face mapping that they did. Yeah. But for Revenge of the Sith, it was Wayne Pygram. Because he actually does look like Peter Cushing when he was younger.
Yeah.
And they just put a bit of age makeup on him, and they didn't linger too long over his face with camera.
Yeah,
and it does look like him.
He sort of walks out of frame as and that's it. That's all you see of him.
Yeah.
And that was quite a sought after figure back in the day, because I remember working in the comic shop at the time.
Yeah.
And I think he was short packed. I think they were only, I think one per box, I believe.
Yeah.
Because the rarest figure was the Imperial Guard, the blue ones.
Oh yes, yeah. I've got to say, there's the guy on the market where I got my Jawas and my Imperial Guards from. He got some of the blue, they're not Imperial Guard. They were what they call it. They were basically the Imperial, what they were before they were Imperial Guard. I think they were like the Chancellor's Guard or something like that. They had blue uniforms, and the helmets you could see the faces.
But there was that sort of design, though, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, when it became the Imperial Guard, it basically retained the same design, except they were red, and instead of being able to see the face, they have the face plate over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hang on, where are they?
They were rare.
Yeah, you see, I've got both versions. I've got the one with the staff like this. Yeah, got that one with the staff, and then I've got the one with the gun that looks more like the Chancellor's Guard.
Yeah.
Hang on. Come here, you bugger. Oh, come on, out you pop. There we are. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Chancellor's Guard figures were just basically the same, except they had blue armor and a blue cape.
And a sort of Centauri headdress as well, didn't it?
Yeah, the helmets, you could see the guy's face underneath, and it had like a plumage at the top.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. They were. I think 1 per 10 cases. I think.
Yes, they were. Yeah, they were going to say they were only in the prequel films. I think in one scene.
Yeah,
the scene in Revenge of the Sith where Yoda he goes to confront the Emperor, and he
knocks him down.
Yeah.
Because I remember being in the comic shop, and we got one of those figures in, and it just went. Because we'd got the delivery in, and I'm going through it, and I'm putting the prices on them and that, and I've reached down to the last figure, and I'm like, holy shit, got one of these in, and I thought, should I buy this and stick it up on eBay?
Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, you quickly got your wallet out to see if you could afford it.
I was thinking about it, and then I thought, what's the point? I'm not going to get that much for it anyway. And then I ran my boss up, and I went, we've got that figure in, and he goes, seriously? And I went, yeah, I've just opened the box up, and it's at the bottom, and he's like, right, leave it under the counter. I went, all right, okay. So what he did was I don't know what he's doing at this point. He just said leave it on the counter. So he comes in about 3 hours later, and he puts a sign in the window, and he says, "We've got the figure in, but best offers." And then I think we sold it for like, I think about 100 quid, 150 quid, something thereabouts.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, shit, I could have fucking sold them on eBay. But we did get in. It was about 6 months later. Do you remember the Marvel Legends, the Toy Biz ones, the really good Marvel figures they brought out?
Yes.
About 2003, I think they started, to about 2007, I think that's when it stopped. They were fucking brilliant, and they were like 10 quid, and you can get figures like this big, really heavy, beautiful figures. And there was a shortage of the Scarlet Witch figure in America. Nowhere had them at all in America. Mm-hmm. And they were all on the forums going, oh, can anybody find a Scarlet Witch? I'll pay X amount of money and stuff like that. And all the comic shops here in the UK were like, we're not getting them either. And funnily enough, went in your Asda, John, on Ezel Road back in 2006. And then they had a fucking shelf full of them. There must be like 20 of them. And I went, right, fucking bought them all. They're only like fucking a tenner a piece. Bought them all, and the woman at the fucking till goes, do you know these are the same figure? I went, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course they are. I do know. I'm not stupid. Anyway,
it's like that when they opened a branch at, well, it's Poundland now, but it was a shop called, oh god, what was it? It was called one of them other sort of cliched names. Basically, this is a cheap shop.
Yeah.
And I went in not long. Well, I think it was a day that it opened. You know, we were down that way, and I went in, and they'd got one box of Transformers. And do you know what was in that box?
Go on.
Combiner Wars Wave 2.
Fucking
you
hell.
know, the one that never came out in this country. Yeah, Stunticons, and, well, it was two. It was the Stunticon, the 3 Stunticon limbs, except, what they call it, except the race car one. And the missing aerial bot.
Oh, Aerial.
Bravo replaced.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw them, I looked at the shelf, and it's literally they've just got one box, because there's only, as far as I know, in Hasbro Transformers, you know, deluxe figure boxes.
Yeah.
Only, I think, 8 per box.
Yeah, it is 8 per box.
Yeah, and they literally just put this one box out, and it was like literally, I looked at the thing, and they were £12 each.
Yeah.
And I just went, right, okay, grab.
Yeah.
Quickly, grab, one each. And paid for them. And I can't remember who it was, asked me, they said, oh, will you go get me? I forgot which one he wanted. And I said, well, if I get over that way again, I says, because that shop, it's not somewhere I go in as regular, because it's like out of town. I have to get in car to go there.
Mm.
And I went back about 2-3 weeks later, gone. And I just said there about, well, you had Transformers in. A woman says, yeah, she says, we only had one box. She says, and, you know, she says they were quite popular. She says, as soon as we got them, they all sold. And she says, but then we won't be getting any more. She says, because they've only allocated one box per shop.
Yeah.
You know, sort of thing. And I says, well, is there any chance of getting anything like that again in future? She went, doubt it.
That's what I got told when I was getting Ghostbusters figures from Own Bargains. Yeah. And I went, have you got any more of these? Because people were going nuts and go, oh, can you get them for us? And I went, yeah, I'll get a couple for people and that. And they were just, I was like, will you be getting any more? And she went, I don't know, but I don't think so. But I mean, for £4, and then the Matty collector ones as well. I thought, fucking having them fuckers. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know how Own Bargains do it. Get all these some of these collector figures in now. You know, like the Batman the Animated.
It's the same as that when what were it they had in the first G.I. Joe film? They had the Target exclusive.
Yeah.
Target exclusive G.I. Joe figures in. You know, basically it was a figure with the small vehicle.
Yes.
And I think I got one of each for Matt, and I just thought that. I thought, oh, and then when I looked, it's like basically what they do is Target had got loads of stuff left. You know, like the G.I. Joe film had been out for a while, and you know, all it is just that the stuff that they've got there were you know, on clearance, and nobody wanted it. So they pack it all up, and you know, it's like, right, who wants to buy this container full of stuff? I mean, they did the same with the Matt Tracker figure. Remember the G.I. Joe Matt Tracker figure? It was like rocking horse shit over here. But then in America, it were like, you know, in fucking dollar stores.
Yeah, I remember that, because I wanted one and no one could fucking find one for me.
Yeah.
But I did get this set the other day. I mean, I took the figures out from Home Bargains. 20 fucking quid. 19.99. And you get all them inside it.
Was that the... Oh, that... Yeah. I've seen that. I don't want that. They did have the, what they call it one, the Justice League.
Yeah, that was 50 quid still.
Yeah, and it was, I was going to say, they brought it down in B&M. They brought it down to 25 quid, and then as soon as I brought it down to 25 quid, it disappeared like shit off a stick.
I didn't even know they brought it down, because if I'd have known, I'd have bought fucking at least 2 of them at that price.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the thing is that these figures, I mean, they're posable, but they're not. They can only be posed in one particular place, which is kind of annoying. They've all got loads of articulation, but the way the feet are molded, you can only stand them in a particular pose. I mean, it's sort of like a diorama on a shelf.
Yeah.
I'd have been a little bit annoyed if I'd paid like 15, 20 quid per figure, because that's what they were going. Because I sold them individually a while back, and that's what they were going for. And then I was looking on Amazon just to see what the prices were for this thing. I mean, it's going for like 50, 60 quid. And I thought, oh, fucking 20 quid, I can't argue with that. I've got 4 figures in it. And the plastic quality on them is amazing, to be fair. And I mean, I'd be quite happy because the Superman in the set's the best figure. I'd be quite happy to pay 20 quid for that Superman alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyway, lads, I'm going to have to go because it's getting late now. So, feeling a bit tired. I'm feeling a bit sort of shit. I've had a fucking horrible few days with the weather and that. You know, it's been a bit wham.
Yeah, it's very hot, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm going to just have a cup of tea and then I'm off to bed. Finish reading my Batman book, which I haven't fucking read yet. So, anyway, lads, I'll catch you all later. Bye for now.
See you, man.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to mute myself for a bit because I need to go take care of some business. So I'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Okay, then.
Well, maybe make it 10. I don't know. I haven't been for a couple of days.
Oh. All right then, mate. So looks like for a few, it's just you and me for a little while. I don't know where Sam hasn't contacted me, so I don't know what he's doing. Do you know what he's doing?
I've no idea.
Are we doing his own thing, and that's okay?
I've not heard anything from him at all today, to be honest. I saw him yesterday, pretty much all day, so it's probably not. I don't know. Probably just wanting just a bit of a day to himself, maybe.
Yeah.
That's Sam for you. He's a bit of an enigma.
No, I do like my privacy as well. I mean, I'm a very people person, but I'm also quite private.
There's nothing wrong with having a bit of privacy and everything, but just with Sam, he just, you know, you message him, text him, and he just ignores you for no reason at all. And it's just like, you're probably either sat at your computer or just reading a book at this moment in time. So I got your text back. Just, I don't know. But, you know, each to their own, I suppose.
Have you been playing any games lately?
No, well, I haven't played anything for a few days. I've been mainly playing GTA 5 still.
Yeah. What have you been watching anything new lately?
No, well, obviously I went to see Deadpool 2 yesterday.
Yeah, it's so good.
That was really.
I'm going to have to wait 2 weeks till I get back from Poland to go and see Solo.
Well, I've definitely seen Solo. Definitely seen Solo. that just really does appeal to me. When basically, I think I was on the bandwagon with like a few people where kind of like hearing kind of like the early production and like people getting the casting choices, like who's playing who. And then I was just kind of like, yeah. And then obviously Disney saying, pretty much the way Disney have been handling the Solo film, saying, kind of, they're not, they're kind of prepping themselves for this film probably to be a massive bomb.
But they had to make changes to it. They've done several reshoots, haven't they? So.
Yeah, they've had to do a lot of reshoots. I think it was supposed to be out earlier this year. They've had to push it further back or something.
I think it's obviously we won't be getting a Star Wars film in December for Christmas this year because this one's
I think next month. I think.
Yeah, I thought it was the 25th of this month.
It could be this month. I can't remember. And obviously we've got the Venom film as well, which is out soon.
Yeah, and at the end of the year, there's meant to be this theatrical animated Spider-Man film, isn't there?
Yeah, animated. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know when that's out. I think that might be maybe.
I'll probably go and see. Yeah, I'll probably go and see it.
Yeah, it's based on the alternate reality Spider-Man where he's actually black.
Yeah,
it's actually. I can't remember if it's actually called Peter Parker.
It was Miles Morales.
Miles Morales, that's right. Yeah, it's a completely different alias. Yeah, because I think maybe with bringing that version in, I'm not sure if they might go down this storyline where they bring like because there's a storyline where in the comics where there's like loads of different like Spider-Man from all these different dimensions. No. That's I think.
I mean, in the MCU, well, like in Homecoming, the prototype suit that Peter Parker had himself, just the hoodie and the goggles.
Yeah,
I mean, that was kind of reminiscent of. That was kind of think of a nod to the Scarlet Spider, because he has a suit like that.
Yeah, it does. But it's a little bit more realistic, to be quite honest. Like basically in Homecoming, the suit that kind of like it's just pretty much stuff that's around his bedroom or something that's just kind of put together.
I know that realistically, that's probably what I don't know if an average 15 or 16-year-old could make the Spider-Man, a suit that looks like Spider-Man on his own with materials from his house or something.
No, I mean that's the whole Sam Raimi one and obviously the Amazing Spider-Man one. I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong, they're all, the Sam Raimi's first two films are really good, and obviously the Amazing Spider-Man, I like the guy who plays Peter Parker Spider-Man, but to be honest, when you look at it you shouldn't really look at it in realistic view because essentially it's Spider-Man, he's, as a comic book character, but if you look at it logically, the Homecoming version, Tom Holland's version, is much more believable. You can kind of believe, you can kind of believe he's a kid that got these powers, and he's like prattling around, kind of like as Peter does when he first discovers his powers, and then he's.
But obviously, they haven't had to do the origin story because we know of that. We know how he gets his powers. But I think what fans have said they'd like to see this version of the origin maybe in a flashback, because.
I don't know.
We know he got bitten. We know he got bitten by a genetically enhanced spider, and that's how he got his powers.
Yeah, well, the thing is that a lot of people are kind of sick of seeing the whole death of his uncle. It's just kind of. I mean, obviously Sam Raimi did it, which was fine. I mean, the Sam Raimi one was fine because it was the first live-action film. And obviously the first live-action death of his uncle, that's fine. But then they did it in the reboot, Amazing Spider-Man. But all they did is they actually just ever so slightly changed how he died. But yeah, it's just like, well, what's the point? Each different just slightly changing how he dies, but yet you're still putting it there.
The difference was the opportunity in the Amazing Spider-Man for Peter to stop the crook was like so much. You know, he was literally right in front of him, and he could have. And when the guy in the shop was calling for help, he could have like. But obviously, Peter didn't know his uncle had followed him out, and yeah, so it's kind of an accidental error that he made. And he's in that dilemma, which is ultimately why he becomes Spider-Man. But in the Amazing Spider-Man, the premise of why he makes the suit was slightly changed because he's mainly doing it to find his uncle's killer. And but he learns that he can't use his powers just for revenge. You know, the whole with great power comes great responsibility thing.
Well, exactly. I mean, the thing is about Spider-Man is that everybody knows how he, you know, his origins now because of the live-action films. And I think I kind of like where they're going now with Tom Holland, where they're pretty much not really showing his origin because they don't need to.
No, they haven't even mentioned like Uncle Ben and stuff. You know, when you first saw him in Civil War, when Tony asks Tom why he's doing this, you know, he's saying, you know, something bad happened. You know, when whatever happens is what he says, and that they're implying about what happened, obviously.
Well, exactly.
But you don't need to hear the full story.
Well, exactly. Yeah, they just implied it. That's all you need. You don't need to actually have a full dramatic scene of yet again him being killed, but a much younger version of his uncle. You know, because obviously,
Aunt May, she's so young in this MCU. You know, in this MCU, Aunt May, she's much younger.
Yeah, mainly because the actor who plays Peter Parker is actually young, a bit younger as well. Because, like, the past actors have like been like, I think when they first got the role, they were either early 20s or mid 20s.
I think Andrew Garfield was around 27 when you filmed the first one.
So
Tony was about 25.
So they were relatively quite a lot older compared to Tom. So I mean, so it makes more sense his aunt being a lot older. So, but the thing is, you know, with Tom Holland's, it makes more sense of his auntie being put in her 40s.
Yeah,
it makes a bit more sense because of the age gap with him. Because I think they're trying to make him out. He's only supposed to be about 16, 17, maybe 18 years old in this version.
He's in high school. I mean, but the strange thing, obviously, you know, at the very end of Homecoming, where Aunt May actually sees Peter in his bedroom with the Spider-Man suit. I thought, well, now does she know who he is, or like, and obviously you don't even see her in the Infinity Wars because they've got to get on with the whole actual Infinity War. So I don't know how it's meant to have been since Homecoming, in between the Homecoming timeline and the Infinity War.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, Aunt May wasn't a part of the Infinity Wars, but she was a part of the Civil War.
Yeah.
But after Homecoming, obviously he managed to keep his identity as Spider-Man alias completely secret from his auntie. But there's an end credits scene right at the end of the credits, and it's actually quite funny. He pretty much Aunt May is right behind him, and Peter's like looking in a mirror at himself, and then you just see her kind of just stood there, just silent, and then the next minute all you hear is, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Because in the comics, when Peter gets his identity released to the public due to Tony Stark having the heroes use their civilian names, eventually that actually gets Aunt May killed, doesn't it? And that's why I think he goes to Captain America's side.
Yeah,
because I know at some point he changes teams to Captain America's side.
Well, yeah, that's. To be honest with you, I mean, I do know that there is some stories in the comics where Aunt May does actually end up either getting targeted. I think she gets taken as hostage. I'm not. Yeah, and obviously there is ultimately some stories where she does unfortunately get killed due, by one of his enemies. But to be honest with you, she doesn't have to die. She doesn't have to die. I mean, what they could do, unless if they finally decide to kind of like bring in a bad guy, it depends of how long Tom Huddleston. Sorry, Tom Huddleston. Tom. Basically, it depends of how this version of Spider-Man is going to carry on for. It depends of how many sequels he's going to have, and how many of his villains, enemies he's going to be bringing into it.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is, like, everyone else in the MCU has kind of remained in it. And I have heard rumors that they might keep Spider-Man's time in it limited. But if they remove him from it completely, I think it'll kind of, that might lose fans.
Yeah, well, we don't know. We don't know what's going on, to be honest, because quite frankly, I do recall Spider-Man is an Avenger.
Yeah. Well, Tony said to him once he got the Iron Spider suit when they're on the planet, he did say, "Yeah, you're an Avenger now."
No. What I mean is, Peter Parker or Spider-Man is a legitimate member of the Avengers, but he's not always with them. He doesn't always stick around with them. He kind of Spider-Man. He's a kind of like a rogue guy. He's got obligations. He protects New York. He protects where he lives from obviously hooligans and all sorts of street crime and everything. So pretty much that's his responsibilities. What he finds is his responsibilities, but then obviously the rest of the Avengers are always in a team environment because that is generally what they are. That they constantly are a team. That they live together in one of Tony Stark's facilities.
Yeah.
Well, they do, but obviously what we've seen with Infinity Wars, they're kind of a bit broken up now because of the events of Civil War.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'd be interesting to see what the future brings. I mean, I'm really hoping that they'll finally do. I mean, obviously, I know the Venom film that's coming out. I know it's supposed to be kind of a separate little universe for Sony.
Yeah.
But to be quite honest, I'm really hoping Tom Hardy's Venom will actually go into the MCU. I would really like that Venom because that is Venom. That Venom movie looks so good.
So the one in Spider-Man 3, I didn't think was very good at all.
It don't. I mean, I'm really hoping that they go down that and hopefully maybe consider bringing Tom Hardy's Venom into the MCU rather than making it a separate universe in their own right. Because it makes sense because Venom is one of Spider-Man's biggest rivals. He is literally his biggest rival. Then you've got Mysterio. You've got obviously, I know they've only just recently done Electro, so I can't see them doing him doing him just yet.
And in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, they had the Rhino right at the very end.
Yeah. But it depends.
I think they should do Mysterio. They should definitely do Mysterio.
Because they haven't done him yet in live action format.
What was it? What's the other one? The Carnage. They should do the Carnage symbiote.
Well, that is interesting because some found out when the Venom film comes out because we don't know if Carnage might be in it, but it might be either an end credit scene or he might be right at the end of the film. So it's kind of like it kind of opens up the gap for a sequel.
Yeah, because basically we find out that the Venom symbiote can reproduce, and that's when the Carnage symbiote's born, isn't it? And
So pretty much the Carnage symbiote is essentially it comes about from the Venom symbiote. But obviously Carnage is an absolute psychopath. And I mean absolute psychopath. And they need to do him right because Carnage needs to be his host has to be an actor that is really good at playing psychologically messed up characters.
Yeah,
because to be honest, I mean, originally Jim Carrey was apparently named as playing Carnage, and Jim Carrey is perfect for that type of role.
he would be good for it.
But to be honest, I don't know if he will now, because he's got a different approach. He still does the odd comedy movie now and again, but he's kind of going a little bit more level-headed movies, like kind of more dramatic movies.
He's had a very tough time over the last few years. Kind of gone off the rails. So
yeah, he's obviously with his wife, unfortunately committing suicide and everything. He's kind of gone a bit off the. He kind of went a bit off the rails a little bit, and ended up going into, I think, getting sorted out and everything. But yeah. But anyway, we'll soon find out how it goes. I mean, it's interesting in the Venom film because there's actually a lot more different symbiotes than I was actually aware of. Because all I know of is Toxin, Carnage, and Venom. They're the only symbiotes that I know of. But apparently, But I found out that I can't remember the names of them. But there's 2 female ones and another further 2 male ones. There's actually 2 female symbiotes as well, and I had no idea. But we're thinking that maybe the Venom film might be going into the Venom comic series, where it's kind of like a whole kind of like all these symbiotes kind of like attack, go after Venom pretty much. It's kind of like
another thing,
massive arc with them.
Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, another thing is, you remember the Spider-Man 90s Saban series, like one of the big villains was the Kingpin. Well, obviously, he's the main villain for Daredevil. So
yeah, they can't bring him into it just yet until Daredevil finishes.
Yeah,
because
isn't there going to be a Daredevil season 3 that takes place after the Defenders?
Well, we don't know what's going on, because I know Netflix are obviously behind Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Daredevil, and obviously Punisher as well. And I know Punisher is actually an Avenger. He's actually in some Avengers comic series. He was actually in the Civil War. He was in the Secret Wars comic series, I believe, and he was in the Civil War, but they never put him in the Civil War film because obviously, they just didn't bother. But I've heard rumors that maybe the ones that have been on Netflix may make an appearance in Part 2 of Infinity Wars.
Yeah. I mean, I hope they will, because we know that they're canon.
They are canon. They kind of are all. They all operate within New York City, where Spider-Man is.
Yeah, but the thing is, obviously, we haven't seen him yet. I mean, it's Hell's Kitchen's where Daredevil is. That's a different area.
You don't see them, but they're all in the same area.
Yeah.
They all live in the same city.
I know.
But
yeah, I mean, personally, I think that if they're going to bring them in, it will do it good, and that may open up more doors. I mean, obviously, we don't. If they're going to reboot the X-Men, will they bring them into the MCU?
We're thinking they're thinking they will do, because apparently Infinity Wars Part 2, Hugh Jackman's been seen on set. So Hugh Jackman's actually been seen on set of Infinity Wars Part 2. So we're thinking, could it be just a really clever kind of something to do with the Time Stone? Or is it something to do where obviously maybe unless it's maybe something to do with the end credit scene, mid or end credit scene for that film? I don't know, because they are making an Avengers film past Infinity Wars. So they're making a 5th Avengers film. So that they're making obviously the Infinity Wars Part 1, Part 2, then they're making a film past the Infinity Wars as well. So we're thinking maybe they might bring the X-Men into it, maybe in the next Avengers, because obviously what they've got now at the moment, they're doing the Avengers, which is the official Avengers, the original Avengers. But then there's a comic series called New Avengers, which is actually a newer. It's not Steve Rogers anymore. It's actually the guy who takes over from Steve Rogers. I think it's meant to be the guy who's the Winter Soldier. He takes over from Steve Rogers when unfortunately gets killed. And the Winter Soldier, or Bucky, whatever, he takes over as Captain America. And then he essentially then becomes the new Captain America, and then he builds a new team of Avengers around him.
Yeah.
So you pretty much because like in the new Avengers, you've got all sorts of different new characters as well as Spider-Man. Spider-Man actually becomes a new Avenger. And then you've got like other ones that other characters that they've not made a film for yet. So I'm wondering if they might maybe go into the new Avengers storyline.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly,
they can't keep these forever, can they? They're not going to want to do it for forever.
They're not going to do it forever because
they're all really talented actors, and they'll all want to move on. And I mean, look at like Scarlett Johansson. She's with Black Widow, but she's not just really famous for doing that. She's a really famous actress for many things.
Oh yeah. She's been in a lot of films.
Robert Downey Jr. He'd been in a quite well-known film before, but he'd obviously been in big trouble. And I think he did Iron Man. He got the role of Iron Man, and that's what made him famous again.
He's been Robert Downey Jr. has been acting for a long time, but he kind of hit a bit of a career low.
Yeah,
and then obviously he was a bit of alcoholism and drugs, and he pretty much almost got his career pretty much ended. And then him landing the audition, he then got clean. He went to rehab, got clean, and then he he auditioned for the part of Iron Man or Tony Stark, and he wowed the people that did the auditions, and pretty much he's now one of Hollywood's biggest stars now.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I mean, I'm just really interested to see where the future's going to go with it. To be honest, I mean, like I say, I think it is fairly obvious that something's going to happen with Steve Rogers, the Captain America that we learned from the first one. We know because by right, Steve Rogers does die. The actual original Steve Rogers does get killed.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be in Infinity Wars Part 2 or if it's going to be in the one after Infinity Wars. But quite frankly, something needs to happen to Steve. And I'm guessing some other characters probably might either get killed off as well, and then they'll probably just simply replace them with the new Avengers characters.
Yeah, I was thinking, what was it? Are they actually, have they announced an Iron Man 4?
Not officially. Pretty much Tony Stark was only contracted up to the second Infinity Wars film.
Yeah, because I thought that scene where he gets stabbed by his blade, I thought everyone kind of thought that was going to be his death scene.
I actually thought that. I was actually quite surprised when he got stabbed. But to be honest, to be quite honest with you, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I say, it's going to be interesting to see where the future brings with Infinity Wars Part 2, because Infinity Wars Part 2's got a lot of answers to a lot of questions to answer. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, who actually does get brought back, who doesn't come back, and then they're simply just going to have to rebuild and re-recruit those that haven't come back. So, because obviously, because there is loads of, if you look at the Marvel comic stuff, I mean, I don't know too much about it. I'm actually thinking of getting myself in like one of those Marvel encyclopedia things, where it pretty much has every character from like the conception of Marvel right through to now. I'm thinking of maybe picking one of those up for like just for like research purposes, so whenever they make thinking of bringing out a Marvel another Marvel film and a character I don't know, like they're bringing out Miss Marvel. And I know nothing about Miss Marvel at all. So they're bringing out, that Marvel film, Miss Marvel or what do we call her? Bringing that out, and then they've just announced that they're making the one where she's actually a Muslim character. That's been announced that they're going to be making a film about her as well, which I think is I think it's the one that takes over from Miss Marvel or Marvel, whatever her name is. But like I said, I know nothing about those characters. I know nothing about the backgrounds. I know nothing about how they got the powers or where they came from. I've known nothing. So I'm actually thinking of getting myself. I want to get myself a DC encyclopedia, and I want to get myself a Marvel one.
Yeah, I mean,
I know nothing about a lot of the characters.
Yeah,
I only know the key characters, and that's it.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I haven't seen all these MCU films, but you know, I need to sit back and a lot of them now are on Netflix. So I need to sit back and just watch some of the ones when I find time I haven't seen, and just figure out how they all place together. But I know I've said this before, but did you hear rumors that Disney also want to buy DC Comics, so they'll own both of them?
Oh, that'd be interesting. And I hadn't heard that one. I mean, I've heard obviously.
I know there have been crossovers in the comics, but you know, if they did all these if they did a crossover movie, like lots of people speculate that it's never going to happen.
It'd be very surprising if it does happen, because if DC and Marvel are owned by the same person, it'll probably piss off a lot of fans. Because quite frankly, DC and Marvel are both run by two. Well, obviously Warner Brothers obviously owns DC. So it's going to kind of, if Warner Brothers loses essentially DC, that they'll be losing a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
And a lot of revenue, because even though they've kind of been messing up, well, even though the decision making from DC and also Warner Brothers with the live action DC films recently, like Man of Steel, and Batman vs Superman and Justice League, all three of those films for me personally, I absolutely hated, and not just me, everybody thought was an absolute pile of shit. And to be honest, they're making a bloody Aquaman film that's coming out this year as well, and quite frankly, I don't think I'll be seeing that. I might actually keep that. I might actually just not bother seeing it, and probably might just, I don't know, maybe buy it if it's real cheap on DVD or something, or I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Aquaman to begin with, and just because it's been played, you know, Aquaman's been played by this big, massive actor that's literally just been on the scene because he's famous from playing a character in Game of Thrones. Well, even though he gets killed off fairly quickly.
I've always been a bigger Marvel fan than DC. I mean, I love those old Christopher Reeve Superman films.
I've yet to even see those, to be honest. I mean, I've heard so much good stuff about the first Superman film. The first Superman film I've heard a lot of good stuff about, but then I've heard the second one's okay. Then I've heard pretty much after that the one watchable. I've heard that there's some really horrible ones as well as some pretty good ones. So I'm gonna do my research and actually watch them. I mean, I've heard, you know, Christopher Reeve is, you know, I do know he's a very good actor. What was a good actor. And he did a really good part for Superman. I mean, I like DC as well. I mean, I like the Justice League, Batman, Superman, Flash, Green Lantern. I like all, and Wonder Woman. I mean, I like all those characters. But to be quite honest, you know, I just think DC, the way how they're kind of how they're handling their live action adaptations to the comics and to the characters, they're not handling it with any sort of care and attention.
They're not.
There seem to be, because there's no structure there at all. I mean, it's like they're trying to copy Marvel with the MCU thing, but the MCU thing has been like over 10 years of planning to get to this point. And to be honest, I mean, like, they started off with Iron Man, the first Iron Man film officially, and then from then they've been like doing like end credit scenes and mid credit scenes to then introduce these other characters, and then they get their own films, and then etc. etc. So they all get introduced in their own film first before they ever got introduced into the Avengers. So you know,
I think Spider-Man was the first one, wasn't it, where he was introduced as a side character before he got his standalone film.
Hmm. I mean, like you got Iron Man. I think Iron Man came out first, and I think then it was what came out next. Can't remember what the next one was now. But anyway, so Iron Man pretty much started it off anyway. But then ever since then, obviously, you had obviously all the main characters for the first Avengers film were all introduced in their own movies before actually coming together to form the Avengers. And then since then, you've had the new additions, which is obviously Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and a few Scarlet Witch, and Vision as well. So you've got like a good 4 or 5 new additions that was announced that I was kind of brought out after the first Avengers film, and then I mean, to be honest, they're the only characters that haven't had their own film yet. So, quite frankly, they don't really need one because there was introduced. I know, like obviously, Black Widow was introduced in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
As a cameo appearance, and then Hawkeye was in the first.
Yeah, I think Black Widow is getting her own solo film, isn't she?
There's talk of it. I mean, I hope so. Anyway, there is talk of it, but then obviously Hawkeye was he was in the first Thor film, so he was introduced in the first Thor film. So you get Hawkeye and Black Widow and Hawkeye are introduced in earlier films just as cameo appearances. And then, but yeah, I mean, the only characters that haven't had their own films yet are obviously Black Widow, Hawkeye, Vision, Scarlet Witch, and I think that is it so far. So they haven't had their own films yet, but obviously Doctor Strange has. He's had his own film. He had his own film, but I think Doctor Strange was actually the first film to kickstart the next phase. I think the new phase.
Yeah.
Then obviously he had Black Panther as well, so he's got he had his own because that was like the next film. And then obviously you had Thor Ragnarok. Basically, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, and Thor Ragnarok all kind of linked what was going on for Infinity Wars, pretty much. So they kind of like continued what was going to happen with Infinity Wars. Well, Thor Ragnarok was kind of like what happened. Pretty much the ship that you see at the end of Thor Ragnarok is pretty much the ship for Thanos' ship. And then obviously in Infinity Wars you see obviously in Infinity Wars you see them all pretty much all been taken out and killed.
Yeah.
Which was a shame, to be honest, because I was hoping that big, like, rock guy that was in Thor Ragnarok, I was kind of hoping he might have actually been in Infinity Wars as a bit of, like, comedy relief. But, to be honest, I mean, they killed him off, so...
What might be funny, if there ever was a DC crossover, if they ever have like a storyline involving interdimensional travel, maybe if like a DC character pops up, maybe amongst some other characters, just pops up and goes as a little cameo.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on, to be honest, because it's a bit of a mess at the moment. I mean, I know they've done it in the comic books, but I think doing it in comic book format, it's a little bit more. I would have thought it'd be a little bit easier in order to just do these like little cameo appearances in the comics compared to the movies, because obviously you've got different studios that run each thing. So you got like Warner Brothers, which is literally one of the biggest. Warner Brothers is one of the biggest movie conglomerates in the world. Next to Disney and so and then obviously Universal as well. So you got Universal, Disney, and Warner Brothers, and they literally are the big three. Then obviously you did have Fox as well, 21st Century Fox, but they're actually getting bought out by Disney, so they don't really count anymore.
No.
So, but to be honest, man, I won't be surprised if it's just like Disney buys everything, and Disney are literally the only massive franchise ever. But no, I can't. I'm very surprised.
Disney are running out of their own ideas, aren't they?
They are.
So,
I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the future brings, to be honest with you. It's going to be really interesting. I mean, I'm looking forward to see what happens in part 2 of Infinity Wars, which is obviously next year. But yeah, I'm just looking forward. I'm just looking forward to what the films coming out this year that we've yet to see. Really looking forward to Venom. Really looking forward to Solo. And I'm really
Incredibles 2.
Sorry,
Incredibles 2.
That's it. Incredibles 2. Yeah, definitely. Been waiting way too long for that film. I think I was one of the people that actually signed one of the petitions once. There was a massive petition that went around about 5 or so years ago, trying to get a sequel done. But then the Brad Baird, I think it's Brad Baird, the guy who directing it. He pretty much said that he'd love to make a second one, but what they've done is I think they originally had a concept for a sequel, but they shelved it for like other stuff that was in production at the time.
Yeah. So after that was what you had Wally, you had
So they pretty much there was a lot of stuff. Apparently, they had a lot of stuff in development at the time, and they just simply couldn't do because obviously Incredibles would be a massive task for them on top of everything else, because obviously they've got character designs. It's a a big favorite, a big Pixar favorite with a lot of people. So it would have taken a hell of a lot of planning on top of what else they was doing as well. But apparently they actually had to put it on hold originally when people was asking for it. So it looks like obviously they thought, right, okay, we'll get it off the shelf and have a look over it, maybe change bits. I mean, obviously, it is literally what we all wanted. We all wanted to literally just have it as a complete continuation from the first one. A few people were like, "Oh no, Jack's still a baby." I mean, it's been so this much.
It's an animated film, though, isn't it? You can do that no matter how long there is between the first and second. You can always pick up right where you left.
Of course, you can. I mean, to be honest, the main people, the people that watched the first one when it first came out, all said that they literally just want a continuation because they want to see the fight between the mole people, the underminers, whatever. They wanted to see what would happen with that fight, which was straight after the first film finished.
Yeah, I think there was a PlayStation 2 game that actually continued that storyline that came out.
Yeah, but I think by the looks of it, but for what I've seen by the trailer, they do fight the Underminer in the first kind of like at the beginning of the film, and obviously then it goes into the new storyline, which is pretty much just straight after. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy that Jack's still a baby, and I'm happy that they're.
He'd only just discovered his powers. He could shapeshift, couldn't he? He'd only just.
Yeah.
Because he helped. He defeats. What was his name?
Was it Syndrome?
Syndrome, yeah, Syndrome. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that very much. It's been so long. I mean, I love Pixar. I mean, it's literally been one of the best films I think this year for me. I just hope it is good. But I mean, but by the looks of it, they have put a lot of time and effort into at least the trailers.
Yeah. Did you see Cars 3?
No, I never saw that. I've seen the first two. I was going to go and see the third one, but I never.
I actually thought Cars 3 was actually better than the second. I didn't think the second one was all that good.
It's not brilliant, no. I mean, I like the first one. Personally, I think the Cars universe is actually quite clever because how many people has said, looked at a car or a truck or a bus and thought, have you ever thought about they look like faces on the front with the headlights?
Yeah.
You know, people think that. People associate, they're kind of like in their imagination, like a face on a car or something.
Yeah, and I thought what they did was fun. Have you seen Planes? There were 2 Planes films.
Yeah, I've seen the Planes films.
That's actually in the same universe as Cars, isn't it? But then they're not Pixar films.
Yeah, they are. The plane films are in association with Pixar, but I think they're done in house as well.
Yeah.
Because what was really interesting about the Planes film is that the first Planes came out. The first Planes film came out, and I really quite enjoyed that. And then obviously, a year later, they released a sequel to Planes, which was the fire rescue one.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Was that a straight to DVD release?
It was it went to cinemas, but I'm not sure how they accomplished to make 2 films and released them year after each other. But I'm thinking the fire rescue one was actually done by Disney in-house, while the first one was done by Pixar. So they're kind of like Disney themselves animated the sequel. I mean, the sequels are okay. Yeah. I mean, it's just a kind of like a little spin-off continuation of what happened after the first film, but it's it's okay. It's not the best Disney film I've seen, but it's okay. But I quite like this. I quite like the Cars films, to be honest. I mean, I like the second one. I will agree, it's not brilliant. It's not the best film I've seen from Pixar. Definitely not. But I mean, like I said, I never saw the third one, and I've heard a lot of mixed things about the third film. Pretty much, a lot of people said it just feels like the first one all over again.
Yeah, well, it is kind of like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I probably might pick it up. I might maybe pick it up when it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray or something, and just give it a watch.
What, the Planes film? Or?
No, the third Cars film. I mean, It's
already out.
Is it out?
You do know it's already. Yeah, it's been out. It's been out since last Christmas.
Oh, I didn't realise it was out already. I mean, I've not seen it anywhere. It's not been in my place, and we get all the new releases at my place at work. I haven't seen it yet. I mean, we've got Cars 1 and 2. You can buy those relatively cheap, but we haven't got the third one. So I'll have to have a look up for that and see if it has been released. I mean, we certainly don't have it at our place.
You should be able to get it in. I bought mine from Tesco's late night shopping last December.
Right. Yeah, I haven't seen it. We've got a whole Disney section, you see, at our place, and that's a little bit separate to the rest of it. And it's not there. We've only got the first 2, and we've not got the third film, and I've never seen it. I've absolutely never seen it in our place, and we get every single brand new release. Every brand new release that's a kind of like a major release, we always have them at our place.
Do you often go to CEX and stuff?
Sorry?
You often go to CEX and have a look around there?
Yeah. We've got 2 of them in Hull.
Yeah, we've got 2 in. I think we've got 2 in Leicester City Centre. Yeah.
We've got 2. We've got one pretty much in the city centre. Then we've got one in a shopping centre as well. Well, unless one of them closed. I can't remember now, but we used to have 2. But yeah, I mean, I like to go in CEX. I mean, I know that there's a bit of a thing going on about them with kind of like ripping off people's artworks for like games and stuff. I know that's a bit of a cheek, to be honest. And obviously, they rip you off a little bit when you're taking something for cash. They kind of rip you off a little bit with that stuff as well. But I've never taken anything in there to sell because, quite frankly, I know I'm not going to get anything that I want for it. They'll only give you something really shit just so they can put a massive profit margin on it. But I mean, I like it. I mean, you can get some really great deals. I mean, like, I've gone in there and I've bought, like, I remember one time for 10 quid, it came to about £10, and I bought something like 10 DVDs for a tenner. Because literally there was like, well, give us
some stuff like in there.
Yeah, I mean, you're like there's some in there for like 50p, £1, like some ridiculous prices on some of the DVDs in there. And obviously you can get some pretty good deals on the box sets as well. They're still a bit pricey on anime though. The full price of anime, like 15-20 quid a box set.
And some video games. I mean, I've seen like first-hand copies of games that have been out for a few months, and I found, I see them in CEX second-hand, but they could be like a $5 cheaper in game for an unused copy. I don't tend to buy as many games from CEX now.
No, I don't. I mean, I go in there and I always look at the game section. I'm like, seriously? I mean, I can understand a brand new release. I can understand that being retail price. But something that's probably been out about a year or two and it's still pretty much still retail price. You're like, seriously? You could have at least taken 5 or 10 quid off that.
Yeah.
I don't. Like, it's like video games seem to really like look at Overwatch. Overwatch has only gone down to about 20 to 30 quid within the past year, and it's been within the past couple of months, and it's been out for an entire year, and the price has always still been about 40 to 50 quid brand new.
The thing is, a lot of people play it, don't they? It's one of those games that still makes a lot of money because people play it online. And
I mean, I'd like to pick it up, but I need to kind of establish whether my internet connection will actually be good enough to in order to play it, because with it being an online game only, in order to get benefit of it, I will need a relatively better connection. But I am actually thinking about upgrading to a PlayStation Pro at some point, because because my PlayStation I've got at the moment is still working fine, but I've noticed it's really slow. The connection on the apps is slow. It's just generally everything's quite slow. Internet search, everything. So I'm kind of guessing that, because I've had a few updates over the past couple of months, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe the original PS4s, not the Pro, but the original PS4 releases, I'm thinking they might be maybe putting the performance down on them a little bit with patches.
Oh, yeah. To make you buy them, to make you go out and buy them. To make you go out and buy them. Yeah.
I think it might not be that. It might just be man's just starting to go a bit crap. It might just be man's just not as good as it used to be.
Mine's fine. I mean, I had my PS4 when they first came out. Did you get it the year, or did you wait a year or somewhat? Because a lot of people waited till the following Christmas.
I never bought it.
There were bugs with them.
No, I never bought it. I never buy a console on its release, mainly because they usually are quite really expensive on their releases.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, I really want to get myself a Nintendo Switch, and that's been out a year already as well. And I won't be surprised if they've got bloody Switch 2 in development.
Yeah, well, I think at the moment, I mean, Nintendo Switch, I think PS4 is still the top console, but I think Nintendo Switch is doing better than the Xbox One at the moment.
Yeah, it is.
In terms of...
Yeah,
I mean, I love...
Sorry?
I mean, I absolutely love the Switch. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of getting a Switch mainly because I don't have any room for a lot of different stuff, especially really big, bulky consoles. I don't have the room for it.
Well, obviously you probably know that you can take it out with you. It's also a home console as well.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm thinking of getting one, is because I can take it out the thing and use it as a handheld if I want to. But even if I wanted it in the bedroom,
just make sure you don't get it nicked off you.
yeah. But even if I wanted to have it as an actual console, like plug it into my TV or into the docking and play it on the TV in my room, it's not going to take any room up at all. That's the beautiful thing about the Switch, is that it's such a space-saving little thing. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, because I had before that, I mean, I had a Wii U and I had so many games for it. I mean, the Wii U didn't do so well, but that really was just probably the prototype of the Switch. Obviously, because I do like Nintendo, and Nintendo have that very retro, addictive feeling to their games, particularly. So yeah, I mean, I had a Wii, and I had a Wii U, I had a DS. I traded in my Wii U and my DS at the time, and all because I thought for the time I probably wouldn't need a DS if I've got a Switch, since I can take it out and do that stuff. It's kind of 2-in-1. I had so many games. I had all the classic games, all the big games for both DS and the Wii U. I traded in the whole lot. Got over a grand voucher. I spent everything. Yeah, everything was in very good condition as well. So I bought the Switch, and I got the Switch, and I got 5 games. Plus, I got some extra stuff as well.
Sweet.
So
I mean, like I say, I have actually been waiting for more games to get released for it as well, because there's only.
I mean, today I got my copy of Hyrule Warriors, which is basically the Zelda version of Dynasty Warriors. And that is just so much fun. It's so addictive. That's a game I could have hours and hours of fun on.
Yeah, well, there's only 2 games that I've seen that stand out, and it's obviously Mario World, or whatever it's called, and the Zelda game.
Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, and the Zelda game.
Would you play like Mario Kart and stuff, or?
No, I've never been a fan of Mario Kart. I like the Mario games, the actual proper platformers, but I don't like. Yeah. I don't like the daft little spin-offs to make for them. The same with Sonic. I don't like the Sonic ones to do as well for them as well. But it's Japan. Also, I mean, they're popular in Japan, not really overseas.
Yeah, but what was it? You know, do you remember Super Smash Bros? That's coming to the Switch. Yeah, I'm going to get that. That's coming out in October, November, I think. So.
Yeah, that is a game I'm thinking of getting, because I used to have that on the Wii. I think it was. I think it was released on the Wii, I think I remember rightly. And it used to be a Dreamcast game as well.
Yeah. I remember. That was a Nintendo thing, wasn't it? It wasn't released for any other consoles. Wouldn't it have been? I think there was Smash Bros. 64.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think Dreamcast released it because there's a Dreamcast version of that game. But then obviously they released it on the Wii as well, Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, I mean, I had what was it? I had the DS version and the Wii U version of Smash Bros. I mean, when I had the DS version, I was playing it all the time. Yeah. And then I unlocked all the characters and all the extra bits on the Wii U version. So I'm just waiting now for the Switch version to come out. And
cool.
All right. Well, I don't know if Carl's coming back, but
it's completely together, hasn't he?
Yeah, if he doesn't want to, that's fine. I think I might end it here. What about you? How are you? Are you all right?
Yeah, I probably might call it a night myself, actually.
Yeah, I need to go and get myself a drink. So
yeah, probably might get myself a cup of tea and just have a quick look on the telly and then get to bed, I think, because it's been a pretty long day today. All
right. Well, yeah. Thanks all for watching. I'll say thanks to everyone who joined us: Nolsey, God Pikachu, Sam with SG1. So yeah, I'll say cheers to you, John. Thanks for sticking with us, and
thanks for having me.
We'll be back soon. You're welcome. Oh, see you all soon.
See you guys.